But Blue himself was very free and easy and smiled at Luffy. The method at this time is that Usopp and Luffy become a Blue, and Tsunade gets Wood Clone and Nami to become a Blue. After riding Blue, Usopp also felt very comfortable. At this time Usopp said, "It's really amazing. I didn't expect there to be such convenient creatures in this world." "Yes. And it won't sway around. It's very comfortable." After entering the hinterland of the Water City, everyone saw some humanistic scenes. Some pedestrians around them were so close that Tsunade, Luffy and others suddenly became interested in everything around them again. "How interesting!" Luffy laughed. "Yes. This neighborhood should be a residential area, right?" Nami saw that everyone was confused about the situation, and then looked at the map that the boss just gave him. "It's really an urban structure centered on waterways." The map Nami got this time was not a child's play given to them by Granny Kokoluo. "Hello? Hello? Where are you going? Sightseeing?" There were many residents of Desui City around who greeted everyone on the boat cordially. "We are going to the shipyard," Luffy also replied. "Well, then we have to go to the commercial street at the back first." Unexpectedly, there are quite a lot of enthusiastic citizens in the Water City. "Is there a commercial street behind?" Nami can understand all kinds of maps and charts instantly. "Turn right ahead," Nami said. Everyone then listened to Nami's command and headed towards the correct place. Then he walked into a waterway, and someone saw Nami around him, and then took the initiative to ask her out. "Charming lady, can we have dinner together tonight?" Immediately afterwards, the man was domestically abused by his wife. "Don't mind, it's just the way men in this area greet each other," the man's wife explained. Nami still managed to smile. "I really don't know whether to call this city hospitable or informal," Usopp also said. Later, someone made a joke about Usopp's nose. Soon, everyone came to a fork in the road, and Usopp asked, "How is it? We've reached a fork in the road? Is there no problem with the flow in different directions? Can we go up?" Then I just heard Blue's cry, and then he went directly to the left. "Wrong, wrong, it's the right side," Nami reminded him immediately, but Blue ignored Nami's words and rushed forward in anger. Finally, Blue reached the top of the slope, and finally rushed down in a rush. Nami and Usopp were almost not frightened to death, but Tsunade said it was harmless. The roller coaster ride in his previous life was not in vain. "It's really interesting," Luffy said very excitedly. "It's interesting, quite exciting." Tsunade thought to himself, if Robin came, he would probably find it fun too. Luffy and Tsunade were happy, but Nami and Usopp were almost scared to death. Finally, Blue rushed down and landed on the water, and Nami cursed, "Don't get too carried away," and then beat Blue underneath him. However, when he looked up, Nami saw that he had arrived at the commercial street. The surrounding waterways have become very wide and very dense, and it seems that many vendors are doing business. On the riverbank, there are also many people setting up stalls. It's rare to find good products. It's 50% off starting now. Wow! It suddenly became lively. Luffy also maintained his excitement and curiosity. Are we actually in the commercial street? Could it be that that was a shortcut? At this time, Nami looked at Blue, who was very innocent. "I'm sorry, you are actually very smart." Nami immediately apologized for misunderstanding Blue. "Is this also blue? It's so big." Tsunade suddenly saw a person riding a huge balloon in front of him, and then asked. When everyone looked at it, it turned out to be an oversized zebra. With its mouth open, Blue looked like a shark. "That guy is really scary. He's so big, could he be a king?" Luffy also asked curiously. "What is that? Is it a mask? It's so beautiful." Behind Big Blue was riding a parade similar to a float. "Hey!" At this time, Blue's eyes were focused on a teppanyaki stall. "This guy probably wants to eat that food," Tsunade conveyed. Then Blue nodded immediately. "What kind of food is that?" Luffy licked his mouth. "Feed them meat and water, they should eat this the most." Su Tsang then didn't need to say anything at all, and Lao Bun Lu rushed to the door of the stall. Not only water and meat can be eaten by Blue, but it is also a rare delicacy among humans. As a foodie, Luffy naturally eats it with big mouthfuls, and he and his Blue are also blessed to share it. Naturally, Su Tsang would not treat his Blue badly, and he would feed Blue very generously. Su Tsang himself also brought some for himself and his companions. After taking a bite, it was indeed delicious. It's so soft. After everyone eats water meat, their whole body will relax as if they have turned into soft water. At this time, Nami noticed that there were many people wearing masks on the street, which seemed a little weird. They were the only things that were not in harmony with the city. After everyone had almost eaten, Nami looked at the map and said, "Okay, now we should take the Watergate elevator. This is the fastest way to reach the shipyard." No one quite understands the significance of the Watergate elevator. Although Su Tsang understood it, he had never seen it before. Fortunately, when Nami, Su Tsang, and Luffy Usopp arrived at the Watergate elevator prompted that it was ready for operation. Immediately afterwards, the door was closed, and then it seemed that some kind of machine injected seawater here, and then all the Blues were sent up. How interesting! So that's it, this is the Watergate elevator. Nami and others are curious, and looking forward to everything around them. On the Mary's ship, Chopper, Su Tsang and Robin had temporarily left the Mary's ship and headed to the water capital. The main purpose was to buy some books they wanted. Su Tsang's body naturally has other things to do besides purchasing books. You know, Robin will be instigated by CP9 people to rebel next. The closer Su Tsang is to Robin, the safer Robin will be. The reason why Robin got close to Su Tsang was also very simple, that is, she had truly fallen in love with this group of companions. Su Tsang has the strength to defeat the general and is her friend. If we act together, we will naturally avoid unnecessary troubles. Of course, there are other reasons why Robin is close to Su Tsang, which Robin himself has not figured out. Robin is a scholar and a historian. She almost understands the personalities of everyone on the ship. However, only Su Tsang was the same as me. When the door of the Watergate elevator opens, it's a whole new world. Here we are! This is the world's #1 shipyard, the central street of the Water City. Luffy was also very excited. While going up in the elevator, the commentator has already introduced some knowledge about the Water City to everyone. The most prosperous area of any city is often its center. Center Street is the center of the Water City. There's a lot of land here, right? It's indeed the center street, Usopp said. Everything is huge. Luffy also sighed. Su Tsang was admiring the surrounding scenery and thinking that it would be interesting to have a carefree vacation in this city. This is my first time seeing such a big city. Usopp also became excited. That fountain will be even bigger if you look closer. Nami also sighed. Not long after driving, everyone saw a huge crowd of people gathering on the shore. What happened there? Let's go! Let's go and see! Then the two Blues drove the 4 people over. Luffy randomly approached a passerby and asked, "Hey, uncle, what happened?" The people in the Water City were very friendly, and then they explained enthusiastically. I heard that pirates came to cause trouble again in this dock, but of course they were defeated by the boatmen. There is an endless stream of fools. Boatmen, have you defeated the pirates? Luffy confirmed. Are you a voyager? The uncle asked. Those guys are also here to join in the fun. The boatmen of Carrera Company are the idols of the residents here. They are strong and have superb craftsmanship. They are the pride of the Water City. The uncle is obviously a fan of the boatmen of Carrera. Okay, let's exchange for gold quickly. Nami didn't want to join in the fun. After all, there was always a risk when they were carrying a bag of gold. At this time, Su Tsang's body was already walking with Robin. I didn't expect that there would be a small alley commercial street here. It's so lively in a small alley. There are also places to walk. The water is clear and the streets are beautiful. I wonder what it would be like to spend time here on vacation. Su Tsang also exhaled happily. Mr. Suit-sung, it's rare to see you so relaxed. Robin noticed Suit-sing at this time. Really? Sometimes I'm very nervous after being nervous for too long, but it's very tiring. Suit-sung said truthfully. Since entering the world of pirates, Suit-sung has almost never stopped. He followed Luffy and completed many plots. Of course, he also made many sign-ins and received many rewards. At this time, it is very rare to be able to enjoy a moment of tranquility. Later, Suit-sung noticed some people wearing masks on the street. Suit-sung didn't feel anything about his appearance, so he didn't show it. However, there were many men on the street who greeted the beautiful Robin very directly. Wow! What a beautiful young lady! I have never seen such a beautiful girl within 100 miles around here. Many perverts' eyes turned into hearts, and Chopper also complained. There are a lot of Sanji here. I said, what happened to the pretty young lady? This is mine. Suit-sung didn't intend to say anything to these enthusiastic citizens at first, but for some reason, he suddenly said this. What did you say? Mr. Suit-sung, let's just leave as soon as possible. Robin didn't want to cause trouble. Suit-sung smiled slightly and found that the perverts around him actually had the heart but not the guts. Suit-sung was so strong that he felt exhausted. Look, it's a mask shop. Robin saw the mask shop and seemed a little interested. There have been a lot of people walking around wearing it just now. I heard that the island where the sea train passes, St. Fault, is holding a carnival mask festival for several days in a row. Robin started chatting. Oh? Robin, how did you know? Chopper asked curiously. Because the pedestrians on the road are talking about it. You actually heard it all? This is my habit, because since I was a child, I have to look at people's faces and listen to what they say to survive. Robin said. Robin, you are so awesome! Chopper thought to himself. Miss Robin, so what do you think of these partners now? Suit-sung asked. I regard you as my partners, Robin said truthfully, with a warm smile on his face. I saw the bookstore, Suit-sung said. Really? At this time, Chopper also rushed over quickly. Can I drop by and take a look? Chopper asked very politely. Go. Suit-sung and Robin both said with smiles. At this moment, a man wearing a mask passed by Robin's Suit-sung. Then Suit-sung heard the conversation between the two very clearly. I am CP9. After the man finished speaking, he disappeared. At this moment, Robin was completely stunned. Robin! I'll go in first. Robin didn't seem to hear Chopper's words at this time, and Robin's face looked a little pale. Suit-sung didn't know what to say when he saw this. It was useless to say it lightly, but it was too serious to scare Robin. Mr. Vice Captain, I have to leave temporarily. I still have things to deal with. Robin was about to turn around and leave. However, Suit-sung grabbed his arm. CP9? They will not be my opponent, Suit-sung said. Did you hear that? Robin looked at Suit-sung and didn't know what to say. According to the original plot, and according to Robin's thoughts, he probably didn't want to implicate his partner, so he temporarily betrayed his partner. The reason why he did that at that time was because Robin had no power to fight back against CP9. In addition, people like World Government and Buster Call, all these things could have caused everything that happened in Robin's childhood. But now, Suit-sung is right in front of Robin, and Suit-sung can be said to be Robin's most trusted person. From Alabasta, Suit-sung believed in Robin and recognized Robin as his partner from the beginning. Suit-sung is so strong, so it stands to reason that Robin should choose to work with Suit-sung and solve the upcoming troubles with his friends. However, although Suit-sung is called a prophet, he cannot predict other people's psychology. Sorry, Mr. Suit-sung, I have no choice. Sorry. At this time, Robin did something that Suit-sung could not imagine. She kissed Suit-sung hard on the lips on the street. This scene happened so fast that Suit-sung understood countless things in an instant. It all seemed so wrong, but it actually happened. Suit-sung had not yet appreciated the slightest bit of Robin's beauty. At this moment, Suit-sung felt dizzy. The second round of flowers blooms. Suitsang didn't know what happened. He only felt that his vision was blurred, his head was heavy, and he fell down. I'm sorry, Mr. Vice Captain. In the end, Suitsang could only see Robin disappearing from his sight. Hey! Suitsang! Hey! Get up! Suitsang seemed to have had a dream from which he could not wake up. He felt as if his whole body was weak, and a familiar voice woke him up. Suitsang slowly opened his eyes and saw Qiaobao. You're awake, Suitsang! That's great! Qiaobao was naturally very happy after seeing Suitsang awake. What's wrong with you? What just happened? Where is Robin? Chopper asked. Suitsang slowly shook his head and said, Robin, I remember, she must have knocked me out, right? What? Are you sure it's Robin? Chopper was also a little surprised. Robin was already everyone's partner, so how could he attack Suitsang for no reason? Well, Robin did nothing wrong, and we shouldn't blame her. She wants to bear her past alone. Suitsang then told Chopper. She knew that I would try my best to keep him, so she had no choice but to do so. Made me faint. I'm afraid she is also afraid that she will harm us. Suitsang has basically determined Robin's psychology. But we are all very strong, especially you, Suitsang, who can defeat even generals. Shouldn't Robin be so afraid? According to Chopper's understanding, Robin's actions were naturally a bit inappropriate. However, this just shows how much Robin values his partners. Suitsang can defeat the general, so what? Because as long as she is with Nico Robin, she is definitely the mortal enemy of the world government and marine. One general cannot defeat Suitsang, but what about 3 generals? What if the entire marine is mobilized? What if the masters of world government appear at the same time? Moreover, Suitsang is strong enough to protect himself, but what about others? Robin was worried not only about Suitsang, but also about the other partners on the entire ship. If, according to the past, Robin just wanted to find a place to stay, and was betrayed by the owner of the place, he naturally didn't have much sense of belonging. But now dreams, adventures, pirates, friendship, all of these are what Robin values. You can't be without a partner forever. Go ahead, go to the sea over there, find a partner, and find a way to the future. This is what Robin's dead friend Zoro said. Therefore, the reason why Robin knocked Suitsang unconscious was for the sake of Suitsang and his friends. Suitsang understood this, so he told Qiaobao. As for the kiss just now, Suitsang still had some unfinished thoughts. I see, did you take advantage of my most relaxed moment, or was it a gift before we parted? Suitsang still felt that this kiss was a bit unlike Robin's style. However, now that it has happened, Suitsang doesn't need to think about anything anymore, because Robin will be chased back by the big guy sooner or later. Then are we going to look for Robin? Chopper asked anxiously. I don't think it will be necessary for the time being. Those people from CP9 may take advantage of Robin, so I won't do anything to Robin for the time being. And Robin doesn't want to face us now. Even if he faces us, he won't leave with us. It's better to wait for the opportunity and think of a solution then. Suitsang doesn't plan to look for Robin for the time being. Now he needs to wait for those from CP9. Surface. On the other side, although Suitsang fainted, it did not have much impact on Wood Clone. At this time, Suitsang, Wood Clone, Luffy and Usopp were exchanging banknotes in the bank. What do you want? Said the bank teller. We have some good stuff and want to exchange it for some cash. After Suitsang finished speaking, Luffy placed a large bag of gold on the counter. How much can I exchange for? Luffy asked. At first, the bank teller thought it was some worthless stuff, but when he opened the package and found something shiny inside, the teller was immediately shocked, and then hurried in to find the boss. Wow! Boss! That's bad. Gold. There's so much. When the boss heard about it, he immediately invited the 4 people to the VIP room. Then the boss carefully observed the gold. Usopp then asked, You won't say these are all fake, right? No, there is no such thing. The boss immediately shook his head. As someone with 25 years of experience in appraisal, I can make a rough calculation and estimate that these are about 100 million belly. What? 100 million Baileys? Is there so much money? Luffy was shocked. Hey! Luffy, lower your voice. Do you want everyone to know that we have so much money? Usopp immediately educated him. Will this guy really give us so much money? Luffy was also excited and overwhelmed. So, please keep your voice down. Usopp naturally planned to keep a low profile and avoid causing trouble. Yes, it is indeed worth so much money. It is excellent gold in terms of age and purity. The boss confirmed again, but his eyes were a little erratic. Only Tsunade and Nami caught this small detail. Wow! That's great. If we have so much money, it will be enough to repair the Mary. Luffy's voice became much softer, but he still couldn't hold back his excitement. If there is any money left, use it all to buy a bronze statue? Luffy had already begun to imagine the scene on the Mary. Don't buy that kind of thing, Usopp said. Okay, if you decide, please sign here and I will prepare the money right away. The boss said. Wait a moment, boss, please look at me carefully. Tsunade was silent at first, but then he suddenly spoke. Is this up to you? The boss was also a little confused. Yes, take a good look at me. Do you think I look familiar? Tsunade asked again. The boss also had a lot of psychological pressure. It's a bit. I think I've seen it somewhere, the boss said vaguely. Tsunade then handed his reward list to his boss. After the boss saw the reward list and the reward amount, he was so frightened that he almost fell off the sofa. 1 billion belly pirates! The boss was a little scared. Are you in the pirate business? Tsunade asked. Hey! Tsunade, don't scare the boss. Usopp hasn't figured out anything yet. Luffy also wanted to persuade him, but Nami naturally stopped Luffy. Let Tsunade finish. Finally there is someone who understands. Nami is quite satisfied with Tsunade. Relatively speaking, Tsunade is the most reliable person among the Straw Hats. You said. I am all ears. The boss is also timid at this time. So if you deceive me, a billion-belly pirate, again, you should know what the consequences will be, right? As a businessman, it's natural to want to make money, but if you treat us like fools, you don't treat me as a human being. The pressure of Tsunade's 1 billion bounty was absolutely astonishing, and the boss immediately set the price honestly. In less than a while, the boss set a transaction price of 500 million belly. Tsunade was also shocked when he saw 500 million belly. After all, in the original plot, under Nami's threat, the boss finally gave 300 million belly. However, the original plot is the original plot, and this is not the pirate world. The gold brought out was slightly more, and Tsunade's oppression was stronger than Nami's. In the end, the boss gave a very conscientious price. In fact, even so, the boss is still making a steady profit. The only problem is that the profit is not that exaggerated. When Luffy Usopp saw 500 million belly, his eyes turned green. Nami actually loves money more. The reason why she didn't say anything just now was because she was preparing to bargain. However, with Tsunade bargaining, Nami naturally didn't have to say much. Now Nami is also very excited to hold up a lot of Pele. The adventure on Sky Island finally paid off. I became a rich man, Nami said excitedly. It's us who are right. Usopp and Luffy corrected one after another. Besides, if it weren't for Tsunade, we wouldn't be able to exchange so much money. Usopp got to the point. Yeah, I didn't expect that. The boss just said it was 100 million, but as soon as Tsunade took action, it turned into 500 million. Luffy also gave Tsunade a thumbs up. Haha! Treat me to a big meal when you have time, Tsunade said. Since there is no information exchange between the wood clone and the main body, the two parties do not know each other's information. Unless Tsunade takes the initiative to remove the wood clone, or the wood clone is seriously injured, it may disappear. After disappearing, Tsunade's body will gain all his memory, experience, and knowledge. Welcome again. The boss sent the 4 people out of here very respectfully. As soon as he came out of here, Luffy talked about 500 million belly. At this time, Luffy took 100 million belly, Nami took 100 million belly, Usopp took 100 million belly, and Su Tseng took 1 in each hand. 100 million Baileys, which adds up to exactly 500 million Baileys. And soon, because of Luffy, countless pairs of eyes around them were already staring at everyone. To be more precise, he was eyeing the box full of Baileys in everyone's hands. And next, everyone has returned to the boat on Blue's body. In addition to exchanging gold for Bailey, the next step is to find shipyards and icebergs. After a while, everyone finally docked. In front of them was a huge dock with the number 1 written on it. We are back, the entrance to the shipyard. Great, the crowd just now seems to have disappeared. Anyway, let's look for it first. What's that guy's name? Luffy asked. It's called Iceberg. Su Tseng reminded. Yes, Iceberg. Who is he? Although my mother-in-law at the station said I could ask him to help me. Usopp was very curious about Bingshan's identity. Don't know? Asked the prophet. Nami stuck out her tongue and looked at Su Tseng cutely. Su Tseng blushed and said, If you ask anyone about this guy, you will know his identity. Oh? Nami then actually asked a passerby and got the answer he wanted. Oh my god, this uncle named Bingshan is actually the mayor of the Water City. And he seems to be the president of the shipbuilding company. What an important position! Nami also exclaimed. With such an important status, I don't know how my mother-in-law knew him? Usopp also couldn't figure it out. They must be friends, Su Tseng said. Yes, so what should we do now? Where to find Mayor Iceberg? How about we go in first? Usopp suggested. At this time, Luffy was already planning to cross the fence and enter dock number 1, but was blocked by a man with a long nose. I said, You are a foreigner, please tell me outside beforehand. Then the man came out and said, Outsiders are not allowed to enter the factory. What business do you have at this dock? Asked the long-nosed ship repairman. Ah? It's Usopp, Luffy said, looking at the ship repairman in front of him. Idiot! I'm right next to you, Usopp immediately retorted. Speaking of which, this guy's nose is square. Nami was also surprised. In other words, he is square Usopp, Luffy said. Okay, stop joking. Hello, this is the first time we meet. You should be Mr. Kaku, one of the 5 major contractors at the number 1 dock, right? My name is Su Tseng. I have admired him for a long time. Su Tseng was very polite as soon as they met. Su Tseng recognized the identity of the person in front of him. He was the second master among CP9 and the master whose strength was second only to Rob Lucci. Oh? Mr. Su Tseng? I didn't expect you to know me? What an honor, Kaku said without changing his expression. As a senior agent of CP9, Kaku has naturally been accustomed to hiding for a long time. Kaku was also shocked when he heard Su Tseng's name, a billion-bellied pirate who had recently awakened. And I heard that he also defeated General Marine. Everyone who considers himself a master hopes to meet such a master, and now Kaku has met him. General Marine was defeated by the person in front of him. Such top-secret information is definitely not known by ordinary Secret Service organizations, but Kaku is CP9, so he is naturally well informed. Usopp also felt a little confused. How old are you? Are you very old? Haha! Luffy laughed at Kaku's title. I'm 23 years old. So, Mr. Su Tseng, what's the matter with coming here? Although Kaku's expression didn't change, he still had his heart in his throat. He could only see what Su Tseng's purpose was. We want to see Mr. Bingshan. Nami received Su Tseng's look and asked immediately. Oh? Mr. Iceberg? At this time, Nami gave the letter of introduction to Kaku, and Kaku then said, So, it's the letter of introduction from Granny Kokoro at Sif Station. So, do you know Mr. Iceberg? Nami asked. Of course, Mr. Bingshan is the mayor. Everyone here knows him. Besides, he is also the president of our shipyard and Carrera Company, and he also manages the sea train," Kaku introduced. "So, where can we find him?" Nami asked the key again. "Well, where is he now?" "I'm not sure, after all, that man is a busy man," Kaku said. "Huh! Can't you contact him?" Nami was also a little discouraged. "It's not that I can't contact you. Are you anxious?" Kaku asked. Now Kaku didn't reveal his identity, and seeing that Suit-sang didn't speak much, he naturally acted in this direction, as if he was really a ship repairman. Suit-sang didn't want to expose him. He needed Kaku to tell everyone personally that the Meili was in trouble. Even if Suit-sang said it, and even if everyone believed him, they still felt a little lucky in their hearts. This is like a fortune teller saying that this person is going to suffer a bloody disaster. Even if what he said was accurate, no one may believe it. But when the doctor says with certainty that the person is dead, everyone will believe it, and the ship repairman is equivalent to the ship's doctor. Well, it's not urgent to be in a hurry. Nami knew that it would take a week to store the magnetic force of the recording pointer. Kaku smiled and said, "You just want to repair the ship, right? Where is the ship parked?" "Well, there are a lot of rocks on the promontory," Usopp said. "Okay, then I'll run over and check on the ship first." Kaku stretched his legs. "This will make it easier to talk to Mr. Bingshan later, and we can also discuss the repair costs." "What? You said you wanted to go and see it? Are you going by Yaga Labunru?" Usopp asked. "Ha ha ha ha, if we do that, you will be impatient to wait. In short, just wait 10 minutes. Kaku said very confidently. 10 minutes? Nami also couldn't believe it. That's right, 10 minutes. Then Kaku whizzed past, and his whole body was like the wind. Kaku was originally called Shanfeng, with amazing jumping ability and high-altitude landing cushioning. He is a master of the Marine 6-style Allen kick, and his kick strength is naturally far beyond that of ordinary people. Kaku seemed to be flying, rushing towards the direction of the Mary. But wait, there's only a cliff over there. Nami wanted to stop him, but Kaku had already jumped. Wow! Is that guy okay? Luffy and others were also very surprised. Don't worry about others, that guy is not an ordinary person, right? Mr. Iceberg? Suit-sang turned around and saw the water capital market, which is called Iceberg. Ha, indeed, there is no need to worry about that guy. That guy can run around freely in the city. People call him Shanfeng. He is the ship repair foreman of Carrera Company's No. 1 dock, Kaku. While Bingshan was talking, everyone turned back and looked at Bingshan carefully. Mr. Iceberg? Are you Mr. Iceberg? Nami also looked at the person in front of him in surprise and asked. Mr. Bingshan wears a light red suit with black stripes, has some stubble, and the color of his hair is slightly blue, and he looks like a water city. In order to quickly build a faster and stronger ship, it is too late for ordinary people's physical abilities. By the way, Khalifa. Bingshan looked back at his secretary. Suit-sang also looked at the secretary named Khalifa. This secretary has blonde hair, a good figure, wears fake myopia glasses, and a pair of good high heels. He looks like an ordinary secretary. But Suit-sang naturally knew that this guy was also a member of CP9, and was an agent lurking around Bingshan. Khalifa raised his glasses professionally, and then said, Well, I have already investigated. Straw Hat Luffy, Pirate Hunter Zoro, and Nico Robin, these 3 wanted persons, total 200 million. 39 million Bailey. The Straw Hat Gang was established in the East China Sea and currently has 8 members. In addition, I would like to talk about this one in particular, Demon Suit-sang. The latest bounty is as high as 1 billion Belly. If nothing else, this level of bounty is already among the top 30 pirate bounties in the world. Khalifa looked at Suit-sang and said, Really? Mr. Bingshan forced himself to hold back the shock in his heart, but he still sweated a lot. Welcome, I am the boss of this city, Bingshan. And this mouse was just picked up. Its name. By the way, let's call it Tyrannosaurus Rex. Bingshan didn't show any concern on the surface. We have to prepare a cage for him, Bing Shan said. Everything is ready, Mr. Iceberg, Khalifa said. That's awesome. You really deserve to be Khalifa, Bing Shan praised. Don't dare, compared to this, in 10 minutes you have to go too. Khalifa said a lot of icebergs for a while. I don't want it. Bing Shan refused arrogantly. Then cancelled them all. Khalifa obediently crossed out those trips. Hey! Is this okay? Usopp expressed surprise. I am the one who has such great power to do this, Bing Shan said calmly. When we first met, Bing Shan gave everyone the impression that he was an irresponsible mayor. Really, you are completely unqualified to be the mayor, Usopp complained. What a willful guy, but isn't this what the mother-in-law said? Luffy reminded. Yes, indeed. Nami also agreed. At this time, Khalifa suddenly launched an attack on everyone, but the attack fell on Su Tsang and could not even splash a trace of dust. You rude people! Khalifa yelled. Then Usopp was kicked away, and Luffy and Nami were forced to kneel on the ground. As for Su Tsang, he didn't move where he was. Su Tsang imitated Enel and picked his ears with his little finger. Why take the initiative to attack? Su Tsang asked. What's going on when you face one of the few shipbuilding technicians in the world and call it this or that? Khalifa got angry, and it looked like it was real. A lot of melon-eating people quickly came around. Wow! What's going on? Secretary Khalifa hasn't had an outburst in a long time. I really want to be kicked by her. Many men said willingly. Su Tsang felt a little nauseous, but Khalifa's looks and figure were indeed first-rate. Sorry, I lost my mind accidentally. Khalifa then explained. However, Mr. Bing Shan is respected by the citizens, so please don't be too rude. Bing Shan also said, Don't make Khalifa angry. If this woman gets angry, she will become our enemy. Mr. Iceberg revealed his other half's face. It turned out that even he was accidentally injured by Khalifa. Su Tsang didn't say anything, and a few drops of sweat ran down his head. He thought to himself that this Khalifa is really a talent. I don't know if he is acting or if he is real. He was kicked even more seriously. You are the one who is more rude. Luffy and Usopp protested. Su Tsang didn't say a word, but Nami immediately changed the subject and was more respectful. Anyway, you are Mr. Bing Shan, right? Please look at this, it is a letter of introduction. Nami gave the letter of introduction to Bing Shan. And this letter of introduction is actually just one sentence. Help them see the ship, signed by Coco Luo. Of course, to ensure that it was a letter of introduction written by Grandma Coco Luo herself, she also left a lip print next to her name. Mr. Bing Shan then tore up the letter of introduction. Everyone thought they couldn't help repair it, but then Mr. Bing Shan said directly, Okay. Since you agreed, why did you tear up the letter? Everyone couldn't understand. Then Bing Shan said, Granny Kikolo and I have been drinking friends for many years. This lip mark just makes me very unhappy. Anyway, Kaku has already gone to inspect the ship, and the work is already in progress. Don't worry. Anyway, I have a lot of free time today, so I'll show you around the factory. Mr. Bing Shan said while picking his nose with his little finger. The whole person looked carefree. Is this the attitude of a man who has cancelled his job? Usopp also expressed surprise. Let alone Usopp, Su Tsang found this iceberg very interesting. At this time Usopp looked down at the money. Hey! 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 Usopp saw that Su Tsang was still holding 2 boxes of money, but the money he had in Nami and Luffy's hands had long since disappeared. What's wrong, Usopp? Nami turned around and asked immediately when Usopp didn't follow. Money, the money is gone. Usopp said timidly. Isn't the money in Su Tsang's hands? Nami then noticed that except for the money in Su Tsang's hands, all the other money was gone. Look carefully. That's 300 million belly. Nami was also horrified. If he had known this, he would have asked Su Tsang to take all the money. No, not anywhere, hey. Where is it? At this time, Usopp discovered the figure of the box. Suit Singh and Luffy also turned around. The two of them had already taken the box to the boat and were about to leave by boat. Hey! Who are you guys? Why are you just taking other people's money? Hey! Stop! Usopp shouted loudly to stop him. But they had already targeted the Straw Hats when they entered the bank to pay back the money. Of course, everything has been planned, so how can we get the money back so easily? At this time, Usopp and Luffy both chased them to the shore. Looking at the group of people who had already fled on the boat, they didn't know what to do. Did you give them the money? Luffy asked. How is it possible? These guys stole it, Usopp said. However, at this time, a ship repairman happened to be chased by his creditor. In the end, by mistake, he fell into the boat of the money-grabbing group and drove him into the water. Great. Is that your company's ship repairman? Usopp asked. Yes. Mr. Bingshan nodded. Hey. Thank you. That money belongs to us. After Usopp reminded him, the ship repairman's eyes immediately glowed with gold. At this time, another person appeared behind him, and Suit Sung also observed this person carefully. This man was wearing a top hat, but he was wearing a white vest, and there was a dove standing on his right shoulder. At this time, when Luffy was about to take action, he was stopped by this man. The dove on him suddenly opened his mouth and said, I'll go. Luffy was also very suspicious and said, Pigeon? Immediately afterwards, the man came to the boat at an extremely fast speed and taught his colleague a lesson. Of course, he still used the pigeon on his shoulder. Don't try to use other people's money to pay off your debts, you idiot. All this money was found. How dare you say that? I just happened to ride on this Yaga Labunru. Then the two of them took the boat and headed towards the number 1 dock where Suit Sung and others were. Oh! Great! Usopp. Luffy was very happy to see that his lost things were about to be recovered. Don't talk like it's my business, this is 300 million belly for us, Usopp said, pulling Luffy's face. Nami did not hesitate to give in, and also taught Luffy a lesson. That's right, why didn't you rush over and grab it back as soon as possible? Then, Suit Sung didn't take it back. Luffy also blamed Suit Sung for the problem. I didn't lose the Bailey I had. Suit Sung's words made sense, leaving Luffy speechless. Anyway, I'm sorry, let's leave it to our own people to deal with the idiots in our company. It wouldn't be good if you caught them, Bingshan said. Anyway, it's good that it wasn't snatched away by the French family, Califa said. Hey, who were those people dressed so strangely just now? Nami suddenly asked. The French family is engaged in the boat dismantling business, Califa explained. What? I really can't tell that they are such serious boatmen. Yes, because their side job is bounty hunting. When they see pirates coming and going in this city, they will cause disputes. They are a troublesome group of guys, Califa explained. As long as you can defeat the pirates who come to this city, you can get their pirate ship. After dismantling it, you can sell the usable wood at a low price. This is the business done by the Frankie family. Mr. Bingshan he also explained it carefully. Suit Sung thought to himself. The disguise is really good, but it's a pity that the CP9 people discovered it in the end. But Suit Sung remained calm on the surface. What a bad thing. Didn't the pirate group disintegrate as well? Usopp said. So, once you become their prey, your body will be wiped out, Mr. Bingshan said. But it doesn't look like they are very powerful, Luffy said. Those are just subordinates, but don't underestimate Frankie, the head of the family who is behind them and instigating them, Mr. Bingshan warned. At this time, the man came back with another man. The person who used pigeons as a cover and used ventriloquism was the strongest person in CP9, Rob Lucci. As for the person who grabbed the money along the way, he was also the ship repair foreman of number 1 dockyard, Barry. Lucci threw Barry to the ground very easily. Hurry up and apologize, Barry, Lucci said using the pigeon. Wow. That pigeon is really good at talking, Luffy said in surprise. It's like being the spokesperson for that hat. Anyway, it would be great if the money comes back. Usopp said. Well, are you the owner? I helped you get the money back. Barry handed the money to Luffy. Thank you, Luffy said. If you really want to thank me, give me 10% of it, Barry said. Immediately afterwards, he was naturally knocked to the ground by Lucci with a hammer. It's so rude, guest. This guy owes a lot of debt because of gambling, and he forgets etiquette when he sees money, Lucci said using the pigeon. So, why is the pigeon talking? Luffy still felt a little incredible. You bastard, Lucci, you can say whatever you want, I can't bear it anymore. Rope manipulation. Not holding. Barry took the initiative to attack Luo Chi, and the result would be death. Punishment. Catch it with one rod. Barry threw Lucci away and then hit the ground heavily. You really don't need to be serious. Nami thought Lucci had been killed. However, when the smoke cleared, Lucci had already maintained a one-handed handstand. It turned out that he only used one hand to resist the impact just now. This guy's finger poked into the ground. How did this guy do it? Usopp expressed surprise again. What's going on with the ship repairman here? Luffy then walked forward and said, I said the one wearing glasses, the one teasing you, and the one provoking you are all that pigeon. The implication is that there is nothing wrong with Lucci himself. Barry said. So what, the one who hit me was Lucci? That's because the pigeon couldn't move on its own, so that guy had to do it. Feed the pigeon, if you cause trouble yourself, you'll get into trouble yourself. Luffy shouted. Are you going to take action? Barry then prepared to take action again, but this time he was stopped by Mr. Bing Shan. Stop, Barry. It's naturally different when the person you talk to is like an iceberg. The pigeon on Lucci's shoulder then said, Sorry, I've disturbed everyone. My name is Rob Lu. No, it's Pigeon Hadoli. This is Rob Lucci. I work here. Please give me some advice. Well, when you spoke just now, did you want to say that you were human? Nami asked. That's right. I understand. It's ventriloquism. Nami finally guessed it. Luffy and Usopp beside them immediately applauded. Really? It's you who complained. Great. Didn't notice at all. Don't be like this, it's not a big deal. Lucci said using the pigeon. Ha! This guy is a weirdo who never talks to people normally, Barry said with a smile while smoking a cigar. Wait, what's going on with you, woman? You're too shameless. You showed too much of your legs. This is a place where men work, and you're dressed like this, how unbecoming. Barry suddenly became nervous. Then Califa also stood in front of Barry. Barry calmed down. When Barry saw Califa, he was also shocked. His eyes noticed Califa's hip-hugging skirt and high heels and long legs, and he immediately started complaining mode again. Califa, you too. You haven't learned your lesson yet, and you wear such flamboyant clothes. How many times do I have to tell you before you understand that you have to wear trousers and long trousers? Ha ha. That guy is also a weirdo. Luffy also laughed. Su Tsang didn't have anything to say about this, he just looked at everyone quietly. Okay, that's it. Hurry up and enter the gate of opening, Mr. Bing Shan said. He just agreed to take everyone to visit the number 1 dockyard. The door of dock number 1 was as high as a mountain. Usopp then asked, Such a big door, isn't it manual? Can those two weirdos open it? At the same time, Lucci and Barry had put their palms on the door, and then pushed the door open. Wow! It's moving! Usopp was shocked. Even though they look like this, they are actually the only 5 outstanding ship repairers in the dock who can shoulder the title of foreman. Kaku just now is one of them. The ship repairmen here rely on their abilities. Although they have weird personalities, don't take it too seriously, Mr. Bing Shan said. How strange. Ah. The door opened. Then Luffy and Usopp turned and walked towards the dock. Don't lose your money again, although there should be no thieves in the shipyard, Mr. Bing Shan reminded. I was negligent just now and caused you trouble. Usopp apologized politely, which was considered as giving everyone a step forward. Suit-san, Luffy, you have to protect me. At this time, Usopp took 200 million and gave the other 100 million to Nami. Mr. Bingshan then introduced. This number 1 dockyard gathers the main personnel of Carrera Company and specializes in accepting the most difficult commissions. Please come in. Wow! It's so big! Luffy exclaimed. Suit-sang has never seen such a large-scale shipyard. The mere visual impact is enough for Suit-sang to digest. Although it's a shipyard, it looks really bold when you get closer. Luffy commented. That's right. Nami also agreed. Countless workers were building a huge ship in front of him, which Usopp was also very interested in. Build such a big ship again. Whose is it? There are boat repairmen everywhere. Nami said. Come here and invite me. Mr. Bingshan also led everyone to continue the tour. Everyone noticed the arrival of Mr. Bingshan and naturally greeted him very enthusiastically. Hey, Mr. Bingshan is here. The boss is here. Mr. Bingshan. Good morning. Good morning. Boss, can you help me take a look at the finished exterior panels? Okay, I'll be here in a minute. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Bingshan. Mr. Iceberg was very popular, and Luffy couldn't help but ask. It turns out that Uncle Bingshan is so popular. Of course. In the past, only the shipbuilding industry was the most developed on this island. There were 7 shipbuilding companies competing with each other. At that time, he impressed the ship repairers with his genius shipbuilding skills. 5 years ago, these 7 shipbuilding companies were merged into one, which is Carrera Company. His passion and technology for shipbuilding have never changed, and the workers respect him. And the workers are proud of their skills, so they are not afraid of pirates, and do not succumb to power. This is the place. Califa was explaining carefully. Luffy patted the iceberg and asked, Hey, Uncle. I heard that you are a ship repairman. Do you want to be a pirate with us? What did you say? Bastard. You rude guy. Barry and Califa were both furious and about to explode. Okay, that's what he is. Nami quickly stopped him. Don't you have a ship repairman on your ship? Bingshan asked. Yes, we came to this island not only to repair the ship, but also to find a partner. Luffy said. I have a lot of ship repairmen here, but I don't know if any of them are willing to sail on a pirate ship. Mr. Bingshan said. If anyone wants to go with you, I don't mind. Bingshan said. Really? Oh. Uncle is so easy to talk to. Uncle, can't you come with us? Luffy asked again. I can't, I'm the mayor. Bingshan refused. What does it matter? Luffy patted Bingshan, who was also startled, and then asked. By the way, is there really a woman named Nico Robin on your ship? Yes, she is very smart, he. Luffy looked at Bingshan and asked. What's wrong with Robin? Nothing. Bingshan didn't say much. Hey, Uncle, can I get closer to the ship and have a look? Luffy asked. Well, no problem. Bingshan said. Okay, thank you. Luffy then happily rushed over to look at the ship. Bingshan looked at Luffy's figure and remained silent. What are you thinking about? Mr. Bingshan. At this time, Suit-sang slowly approached Bingshan and asked. Nothing, what's the matter? Mr. Suit-sang, you don't seem to talk much. Bingshan said. Well, that's right. If you talk too much, the agents around you will hear you. Suit-sang said calmly. What? Agent? Bingshan was shocked, and then looked at Suit-sang. What do you mean? Bingshan deliberately lowered his voice. Mr. Bingshan, please make no mistake. As a big pirate, I am not a member of the world government. I am just kindly reminding you. There are a lot of agents around you, that's all. After Suit-sang finished speaking, he walked aside to watch the ship. Bingshan, who was sweating profusely, was left alone. What's the matter? Mr. Bingshan? Califa asked proactively after seeing Bingshan's expression look a little bad. Nothing. Wow. What a big cannon. Wow. It's a small Karuba cannon. So cool. So long. Shiny. It's enough even once. I really want to try firing one. Usopp's eyes lit up when he saw it. Is that made of copper? I wonder if you can let me test fire it? Wait a minute. We have 500 million Baileys now. We should definitely be able to buy one of those cannons. At this moment, Usopp was attacked and disappeared. Under normal circumstances, Suit Sung would not activate his sense of knowledge for no reason, so no one knew about Usopp's disappearance. At this time, Kaku had also returned to dock number 1. Did that person just look at the boat for us? Nami asked. Well, I've finished reading. Mr. Beishan, you are here. Kaku greeted. I already know the matter. How is the situation? Beishan asked. That. Luffy! Come down! Suit Sung! Nami called everyone aside, but Usopp didn't respond no matter how he called. Everyone couldn't find Usopp anywhere. Finally, a shipman returned the box to Luffy and others. Usopp, the money is not promising. Nami and Luffy then suggested loading this thing and that thing on the boat. Suit Sung, what do you want to pretend to be? Luffy and Nami asked. Mr. Kaku, I know a little bit about the situation of the ship. How is the condition of the keel? Suit Sung asked directly. Kaku nodded. If someone on the other side understands something, it will be easier to communicate. Since you know more or less, I'll tell you directly. Hey, what are you talking about? Keel? And what's going on with the Mary? Luffy and Nami were both a little anxious. The keel has been broken. Your ship is called Mary, right? In other words, it cannot be repaired. Kaku said directly. Why? What's the problem with the broken keel? Nami and Luffy also asked very curiously. The keel is the most important part of every ship, just like the foundation of a house. However, there is no identical keel in the world. In other words, as long as the keel is broken, the core of the ship will be damaged, and nothing identical can be found to replace it. Yes, in this case, it is better to change a ship, Kaku said. Luffy, how many things do you think our ship has gone through? Suit Sung asked. Our ship flew into the sky, fell down, climbed mountains, and almost became a skewer. Many things happened. That's why we asked them to help repair it, Luffy said. That's right, I almost understand what your ship has been through. Therefore, even our craftsmanship cannot repair your ship. In other words, I'm afraid no one in this world can restore it. Kaku stated the facts clearly again, and Luffy and Nami were also stunned. Is the keel seriously damaged? Barry asked. Yes, it's quite serious, Kaku said. But we have been sailing well all this time. Nami still felt that there was something unlikely that it could not be repaired. For example, even if it is repaired, the probability that it will survive to the next island is 0. While Luffy Nami here was still digesting this fact, Suit Sung and Chopper had already met Sanji. I saw Miss Robin just now, but she disappeared in the blink of an eye. Aren't you with her? Why isn't she with you? Sanji asked. Suit Sung then told Sanji what happened. What? Did Miss Robin join them on her own initiative? In order not to implicate us. Who are you talking about in CP9? Sanji also asked with some excitement. CP9 is the person we have to deal with this time, and Robin will definitely be fine. Instead of thinking about Robin's whereabouts, it's better to go and see the Mary, otherwise there will be no chance. Although Suit Sung's body did not know the results of Kaku's inspection, Suit Sung had basically anticipated the ending of the melee. No matter what, it was impossible for the melee to leave the water capital. Suit Sung then told Sanji and Chopper what he knew about the plot. The Mary traveled north and south with us, and its keel was severely damaged. In other words, the Mary is completely out of service. If we insist on repairing it, if we insist on sailing, the ship will eventually be destroyed and people will die. Suit Sung told Sanji and Chopper what happened, and both of them felt very uncomfortable. Then the three of them drove in the direction of the Mary as quickly as possible. At this time, Luffy at dock number 1 did not accept this fact at all. Aren't you very good boatmen? Money is not an issue, Luffy said. I've said it before, it's hard for anyone in the world to repair your ship. I think it's a miracle that you can sail here in that condition. The keel of the ship frame is the core of the ship. As long as it is seriously damaged, it cannot be replaced. Repairing it is like replacing a new ship. Your ship is just a pile of blocks waiting to die, Barry said. Wait, how can you talk like that? Nami also felt very uncomfortable. I don't care, but it's the truth, Barry said. If that's the case, then please build an identical golden melee. Luffy is not stupid. If repairing it is difficult, making an exact replica of the melee is also a good idea. However, the actual situation once again made Luffy feel discouraged. That's absolutely impossible. If it's just similar ships, we can build them, but strictly speaking, no one can build two identical ships. There are no two identical ships in the world, Lucci said. In fact, what Lucci said is not wrong. Even if it is made according to modern assembly line methods, there will be certain differences, just like musical instruments like guitars. Guitars with the same appearance, obviously made of the same kind of wood, will play out differently. Luffy wants to resurrect the Mary in another form so that the Mary can continue to survive. Moreover, even if the same ship is made from similar wood, those of you who are familiar with the original ship will feel that it is different from the original one. Lucci also explained again. So, is it true that the Golden Merly can no longer sail again? Nami asked again. Yeah, isn't it a good opportunity to either wait for it to sink or dismantle it quickly? Or give up and buy a new boat? Don't you have a lot of money? It sounds like your boat is a dhow, and sailing with this old-fashioned sailboat will be very hard in the future. Everyone started to persuade. No, I don't plan to change ships. Luffy already had deep feelings for the Mary. Luffy, our ship has the Golden Mary. As long as it is repaired, it will continue sailing. Luffy's attitude was very tough. It's okay. It sailed very comfortably today, but you suddenly said that it can't continue sailing. I don't accept it, Luffy said. You don't even know how strong the Mary is, that's why you said that. Luffy said this not because he was being angry, but because he valued the Mary. Are you satisfied with riding it until it sinks? Mr. Bingshan also persuaded. I'm really convinced, you guy. Can you be considered the captain of a ship like this? I've said all that needs to be said. You think about it carefully. If you plan to buy a ship, come to me again. I will take care of you. If you want to buy a ship, I will take care of you. If all the 300 million belly are used, even the latest ships can be built. Bingshan then said. Califa. Califa then gave Luffy a list of various ships. Please take a good look at it. This is a product list ranging from new to second-hand boats. It can be used as a reference for prices. Califa said. Mr. Bingshan, there are guests at the door. At this time, a naked ship repairman said to Bingshan. There is no meeting appointment today? Califa also felt a little strange. It seems they are world government officials again. Do you want to send them away? The ship repairman said. Yeah, just tell them I'm not here. Bingshan said. However, your hair is really very curly, Lulu. Mr. Bingshan also felt that the ship repairman in front of him had an eye-catching hair. Sorry, I'm rude. The ship repairman named Lulu pressed one side of her hair, and then it popped out on the other side. Mr. Bingshan originally planned to leave immediately before these officials arrived, but they still found him. Wait a minute, Bingshan, aren't you here? Haha, said the world government official in a black suit. Hey! Hurry up and hide. Barry reminded. They are government officials. Luffy, Suit-Sang and Nami then hid behind the pile of trees. Hello, Corgi, I'm not here today. Mr. Bingshan looked at the man named Corgi and lied. No. You're obviously here. Really, I came all the way here by sea train. I hope you won't turn me away. Corgi then sniffed and said, It seems to smell like pirates. Forget it, I want to talk to you anyway. Corgi said. I hate you, get out of here. Bingshan said directly. Are you a child? Bing Shan's move made Corgi feel a little confused. Don't be so stubborn. I have something beneficial to tell you today. At least listen to me. Come, let's go to a place where no one is around. Corgi then left here with Bing Shan. That guy is really annoying. He comes here every time and doesn't know what he is talking about with Mr. Bing Shan. Barry complained next to him. It has nothing to do with us, it's about power anyway. Lucci said using the pigeon. It's better to just shoot them away. Barry said. Assistant, the other party is world government. Kaku said. Luffy's expression was a little unnatural, and Nami asked. What's wrong? I just realized when I was carrying the bag to hide it that it was really light. Luffy said. Why? Really, stop joking. Nami also didn't want to believe it, but after finally opening the box, she and Luffy screamed together. Wow! How could such a thing happen? Isn't the 200 million belly what Usopp is holding? Soothsing said. The boatmen communicated with each other, and finally everyone understood that Usopp was likely to be with the Frankie family. What is going on? Nami asked. Lulu said. Rather than being together, it is better to say that we were taken away. Isn't that kidnapping? Nami finally understood. It should be the Frankie family's fault for capturing Usopp and taking away all 200 million Baileys. Soothsing said. Seeing that Soothsung said the same thing, Nami immediately said, Then, go quickly. Then Luffy rushed out of Dock 1 angrily. Give Usopp back to us. There is still money. Really? Where is the base of Frankie's family? Nami asked. It's better to say it's a base than their factory. It's on the northeast coast of the rocky promontory where you parked the ship. It's called Frankie's house. Barry said. Soothsung. We don't have time to find Luffy, just the two of us go together. Nami and Soothsung then rowed the Yaga Laboon towards Frankie's house that Barry said. What should we do with the remaining money? Forget it, let's put the money on the boat, and use it to collect debts. What if it is taken away again? Nami then sailed towards the original location of the Mary. Blue, who was sitting on Nami, took full advantage of the sexual intercourse just now, and ran with all his strength in the direction of the melee. On the way, Soothsung saw a group of people watching something. Nami, Usopp over there. Soothsung could think with his heels that Usopp had been beaten and his money was taken away. Then the two came to Usopp's side. Usopp. Cheer up. It's okay. Usopp. Usopp, did Frankie's family do this? Nami was also very impatient. No. That's right, I'm too weak. All my money was taken away, Nami, Soothsung. I don't have the face to see everyone. Usopp burst into tears mid-sentence. I finally had the chance to repair the Mary. It's so shameful. Damn. At this time, Usopp was desperate and in pain. The most important thing was that he hated himself for being powerless. Nami and Soothsung looked at each other, both knowing that Usopp couldn't let Usopp know that the melee was not saved at this time. I know, don't worry about money. We will take back whatever you lose, and I will definitely teach you a lesson for those who hit you. Soothsing also said very reliably. Okay. Usopp felt a little better knowing that Soothsung was the strongest on the ship and also knew that Soothsung had never spoken nonsense. This guy is too seriously injured. I can only barely heal him. You quickly go back to the ship and find Chopper and the others. Soothsung then used his Sage Jutsu and began to treat Chopper's injuries. However, Usopp was probably beaten to the point of internal bleeding, and even Soothsung could only temporarily stabilize Usopp's injury. Naturally, Nami didn't want to waste a moment when he saw this. He immediately ran up and said, Leave it to you, Soothsung. I'll be back as soon as I go. At this time, Usopp had fallen into a coma. On the other hand, Soothsung's true body has returned to the melee with Sanji Chopper. When Chopper and Sanji received the news from Zoro that the melee was indeed dead, they both showed sad faces. No matter how much money is spent, it can't be repaired. Chopper also felt very regretful. So, what is the fate of the melee? Chopper asked again. Who knows, in the end we still have to see how Luffy and the others judge after hearing the identification results. Zoro said. They went to the shipyard together. They should already have the answer. Zoro said, leaning on the railing. But things have gone too extreme, right? Look, isn't the boat still the same? Sanji said. No, although it still looks like a ship, in fact, it is already dilapidated. Su Tsung's body said. The keel of the ship was seriously damaged. We sailed all the way from the East China Sea and experienced a lot of things. We actually know it in our hearts, but we just don't want to admit it. Su Tsung also sighed and then said, Yes, that's it. People will become stronger after experiencing wind and waves, but boats are different. All they accumulate is pain. Zoro said. Even if you say this, it's still unacceptable. Sanji turned his head and said, Besides, I don't know what that guy Usopp will say when he hears this. I like the melee very much. Chopper said. It's the same for everyone, but because the injury is so deep, there seems to be nothing we can do. Zoro easily introduced this fact. Mary and Miss Robin are both worrying. It's been an uneasy afternoon for me, Sanji said. At this time, everyone heard Nami's shout. Nami came back alone? What happened to Luffy and Usopp? And Su Tsung, your clone is not here either. Sanji and others also said strangely. Miss Nami, what happened? Sanji asked. Nami then told his friends on the ship what happened to Usopp. Immediately afterwards, Su Tsung asked, What is the situation of my wood clone now? Usopp is being treated, and he said Chopper must go there. Nami replied. Understood, the troops are divided into two groups. One group goes to Franky's family to get back the 200 million Baileys that were stolen. The other group goes to find Usopp. Su Tsung has already made plans. Immediately afterwards, Chopper Nami went to find Usopp. Sanji, Zoro, and Su Tsung went to Franky's house. As for the melee, Su Tsung directly used his clone to guard it. At this time, Usopp was obviously seriously injured, but he still came to Franky's house. It turns out that no matter how Su Tsung persuades, Usopp will get back the 200 million belly. Su Tsung's wood clone had no choice but to follow Usopp to the Franky family. Usopp dragged his heavy body and fired a gunpowder star, blowing open Franky's door. Damn it! How dare you come to trouble Franky's family? These Franky's younger brothers said one after another. The smoke dispersed, and Usopp's figure emerged. Aren't you the weak guy just now? How can you still stand up? Give me the money back. Usopp showed a sharp look. You said you want to pay back the money? So, brother, are you a subordinate of Straw Hat? Said a person hiding in the darkness. This man is obviously the head of Franky's family, Franky, and one of the future partners of the Straw Hats. That's right. Brother. He was with Majin Su Tsung and Straw Hat Luffy. I thought he was such a powerful pirate. Franky's younger brothers laughed. Totally vulnerable. Ha ha. Franky's little brother mocked Usopp unscrupulously. Usopp said, Su Tsung, don't interfere. Next is my battle. Usopp then rushed towards Franky and others with all his strength. However, Franky gently lifted the box containing the money upwards, and Usopp fell to the ground. Ha! What is he doing? Franky's little brother continued to laugh at Usopp. I appreciate your courage to ask for money, and you want someone to take action. It's really good, but I can't give it back to you. Franky didn't hate Usopp that much, on the contrary, he was very interested. That's important funds for repairing our ship. With this money, we can finally repair the damage to the Mary. How could I leave it to you? Usopp also yelled. I see. It seems that you love your ship very much. However, I don't care what happens to your ship. The money is already ours. It's a pity. You will not be punished for stealing things from pirates. Anyway, it's the dirty money you stole from somewhere. Ha ha. Give it to me, or you cry and beg Marine. Anyway, you will definitely be the one who gets caught. Unfortunately, Majin Su Tsung and Straw Hat Luffy have a useless subordinate who can't even care about money. After Franky finished speaking, he kicked Usopp away. Soon enough, Suit-sung would clone rush directly towards Usopp. The distance of a few meters would have taken an ordinary person several seconds at least. However, Suit-sung caught Usopp in just an instant. Usopp is not our subordinate, but our partner. There are less than 10 people on our ship, and everyone is an important part. You just mentioned me, right? It would be more accurate for Franky to call you Frame. Suit-sung smiled slightly. Although he did not threaten Franky, it put heavy pressure on Franky. Suit-sung naturally knew that Franky turned into a disintegrator in order to avoid being pursued by the world government. He changed his name to Franky and was doing a completely different job from his senior brother Bingshan. In the eyes of ordinary people, these two people cannot be connected at all. However, at this time, Suit-sung easily handed over Franky's real name. How could Franky not be shocked? Who are you? Laozi's name is Franky. Franky looked at Suit-sung and said again. Franky, just be Franky. You can call your name whatever you like. However, I am a person who will never change my surname. My name is Suit-sung, and you call me a devil. Suit-sung said. Suit-sung, who has a bounty of 1 billion. Is that you? I don't think you're that good either. Franky said. Ha, you can give it a try. Suit-sung also smiled, and there was no need to use force to deal with Franky. Kids, let's play with him. I'm going to use the money to buy something, haha. It's really exciting. Franky then turned around and planned to leave. But in Suit-sung's opinion, Franky seemed more like running away. Wind release great breakthrough. Suit-sung said nothing, directly formed a seal and used the wind release ninjutsu move. The move Great Breakthrough is, in layman's terms, a strong wind. But as for how strong the wind is, it still depends on who uses this trick. Suit-sung possesses the extremely terrifying chakra due to his previous fusion of super powerful blood. The Great Breakthrough release now becomes a super Great Breakthrough. Franky's younger brothers are just some stronger workers who dismantled the ship, and they are not marine generals. Therefore, when the hurricane blew by, in an instant, just an instant, everyone was blown to the ground by the wind. Franky himself was also shocked. He did not expect that many of his younger brothers could not stop Suit-sung for even 3 seconds. On the other hand, no one found Usopp there. Then Suit-sung saw the blood on the ground. This guy actually moved with a serious injury. It seems that my wood clone did not stop him. So, there must be some reason why he had to go. Suit-sung thought. At this time, a human voice suddenly came, and a figure finally fell into the waterway next to it. What's going on? Chopper and Nami both yelled. Help me! Suddenly, Luffy called for help from the water. It's Luffy! Chopper said. This guy. Suit-sung then stretched out his devil's hand and grabbed Luffy out of the water. I asked, what happened to you? You ran away in such a hurry. Why did you fall from above again? Nami asked. Well, I want to imitate the appearance of a ship repairman at a shipyard, flying around looking for Usopp. Luffy explained. Are you okay? Chopper asked. Usopp was taken away with the money. Have you found Usopp? Luffy asked. As far as I know, he must have gone to Franky's base. Usopp was injured and his money was taken away. He was unwilling to accept it. Maybe the guy still thought it was his fault, so I went to settle the score with the French family. Suit-sung's estimate is 100% correct. Let's go. My wood clone has not been released yet. This means that Usopp is still being protected. If so, it means that they are still at Franky's house. Suit-sung then ignored all the etiquette and spread his wings directly behind his back, then took his companions with him, and then flew in the direction of Franky's house. Franky's house is not far to the northeast of the melee, so Suit-sung found Franky's house easily. But at this time, Franky's house had been destroyed. Suit-sung saw his wood clone, which was currently using Sage Jutsu to heal Usopp. Surrounded by a group of Franky's men, all of them fell on the spot, looking in pieces. Thank you for your hard work. Suit-sung said to his wood clone, and then directly dismissed him. After all, the two are one body. Since the main body has already arrived, you can get all the memories of the clone by simply removing him. At this time, Sanji and Zoro had just arrived, and the Straw Hats and others gathered together. Usopp. At this time, Chopper naturally went over to see Usopp's situation. How is it? Is he still alive? Luffy asked. Although I completely fainted, I'm not dead yet. I'm fine. We can still be saved. Chopper's words made everyone feel at ease. Usopp was still holding the money box tightly in his hands. Su Tsung knew that he snatched the cash box back after he had used Great Breakthrough. Because his strength was too strong, he shocked Franky on the spot, so Franky ran away directly. As for the money in his hand, Su Tsung easily took it back. Where's that guy Franky? Luffy asked. He ran away. You should know the reason why my clone let him go. Su Tsung didn't need to say too much, and his friends understood Su Tsung's intention. At this time, Zoro put on the green hood, Sanji silently lit a cigarette, Chopper was also filled with indignation, and Luffy had a determined look in his eyes. Of course, the reason for keeping him is so that we can fight him off. We can't keep that house. Destroy it. At this time, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Chopper formed a revenge team and opened fire on Franky's house. Although Su Tsung used Wind Escape and knocked many of Franky's brothers to the ground, Franky's house could not be torn apart by the strong wind. There were also some fish that were lucky enough to slip through the net and escaped Su Tsung's foam gun. At this time, the Straw Hat revenge team directly smashed the small door. Facing the Franky family, the partners showed no mercy and beat the other side's younger brothers severely again. In the end, Franky's house was directly destroyed. Everyone was quite angry. Wait a minute, the reason why you are so angry is because of the money that wasted just now, right? But isn't the money already in your hands? Just let us go. Although Franky's little brother said so begging for mercy, but without any sincerity. Without saying a word, Luffy beat him again until he vomited blood. We're not here for this. Stop talking. I will make your corpses disappear. Luffy was really angry at this time, and beating the other party was obviously not enough to relieve his anger. In the end, Franky's house was completely destroyed and there was no possibility of rebuilding it. The younger brothers have also been beaten severely several times, and they only have one breath left. So, are you going to chase Franky now? Su Tsung asked. Where to chase? I really don't know where that guy went. Sanji talked to Zoro. There is no need to chase him. The money has been obtained, and his lair has been destroyed. As far as I know, Franky will not leave his little brother and run away alone. We just need to wait quietly. Franky will definitely take the initiative to look for us. Su Tsung said. Wait here? But even if you wait here, that guy probably won't come back so soon. Zoro said. At this time, Chopper was doing his best to treat Usopp. Great. The emergency response is complete. We need to use a stretcher to carry it. Come and help. Chopper said. Let's go, it won't help us here now, let's go back to the Mary first. Sanji said. At this time, Luffy was standing at a very high place, and then said, As for the ship, I have decided to say goodbye to the Golden Mary here. It was also very difficult for Luffy to make this decision, but he had to make this decision even when it was difficult. After all, Luffy was the captain. Luffy didn't need to ask Su Tsung's opinion at all, because Luffy knew that Su Tsung's opinion must be the same. Sometimes it's time to make a decision, but everyone doesn't know how to tell Usopp. But all things must be faced in the end. Then everyone used a stretcher to get Usopp back to the Mary. A morning passed, and in the afternoon, Usopp finally woke up from his coma. Great. Usopp is awake. Chopper said. Yeah. Great. Then Luffy went in to find Usopp. Usopp was naturally blamed by everyone, but the blame was not that Usopp was useless, but that he had gone to settle accounts with Franky's family all by himself, if he hadn't been accompanied by Su, a peerless master. The result of Usopp's wood clone may be even more tragic. It's all my fault. I'm sorry. It's so embarrassing, everyone. Usopp hugged Zoro's thigh with tears in his eyes. Zoro disliked him very much, but couldn't get rid of Usopp. Wait, calm down. Got it. Zoro is embarrassed. Well, Usopp, you must lie down properly, Chopper said. So I remember Tsunade gave me the money at the last moment when I fainted, right? I remembered it correctly, right? Usopp finished speaking and looked at Tsunade. Tsunade nodded and said, Yes, this is indeed true. My wood clone got the money back. Here. Tsunade patted the box containing the money. With this, Usopp finally calmed down. Yes, and even if it's gone, we still have 300 million Baileys. Ha ha! Luffy then laughed. That's not good. That's money! Nami scolded. Chopper called Nami, and Nami immediately responded that he had made a mistake, so he said, I'm sorry. So where is Luffy, Tsunade, and the ship? What about the Mary? Do we have enough money to repair the Mary? Usopp asked. It's not easy to have the opportunity to carry out repairs at such a first-class shipyard. In order to continue sailing in the future, we need a stronger hull than before. They must be completely repaired, and can those people really repair them? Usopp asked Luffy and Tsunade. About this, Usopp, I decided to change your ship. Luffy said this very easily. I'm sorry for making the decision while you were away, Luffy said. However, I have decided that the Golden Melee has indeed helped us a lot, but this ship's voyage ends here. Luffy's words were quite harsh in the ears of other friends, let alone Usopp, who loved his boat like his life. After hearing these words, the whole person almost collapsed. And no one expressed any objection, because everyone knew the situation of the Mary and followed Luffy's final decision. After all, he was the captain. After practical considerations, the Mary had to be abandoned. Usopp didn't say a word, he couldn't hear anything at this time. In this catalog given by Uncle Iceberg, I checked the boats that I can afford. There are many. We should be able to buy a second-hand boat that is bigger than what we have now with the money, Luffy said. Wait. Your joke is too stupid, isn't it? Even Chopper believes it. Our captain is really troubled. Tell us about him, Nami. And Tsunade, you should know best. Seeing everyone's serious looks, Usopp immediately said, What's wrong? Is it because the repair money is not enough? Or are these ship repairmen? It doesn't live up to its name, and has no ability to repair our ship. No! It's not like that. Luffy's attitude became much tougher. That's why. Tell me clearly. Are you taking care of my feelings? Usopp asked. I didn't take care of your feelings. I just told the truth. Luffy and Usopp started arguing as they talked. Then why do you say such boring things as changing ships? Usopp was already furious at this time. Stop arguing, you two, what's the use of arguing? Calm down and talk. Zoro tried to dissuade him from the side. Tsunade said nothing, because at this moment, it was not good for him to help anyone. Letting the two of them quarrel might be the best way to deal with it. How can I be calm? What nonsense! Wait, this is a very important thing, don't be so excited, Nami advised. Yes, Usopp, you need to rest, otherwise you will hurt your body. I don't care about my body. The captain said so lightly that he wanted to change ships. How could I just sit back and do nothing? Usopp was furious again. I'm not taking it lightly. Luffy also explained. I also made this decision after worrying for a long time. How do you make such a decision? Usopp picked up the ship's sales list in Luffy's hand, and then threw it heavily to the ground. Don't fool me with this kind of thing. What are you doing? That thing is so annoying, hey! Luffy! Why on earth? Suit sang. You are the deputy captain. What do you think? Usopp knew that Tsunade was fair in everything and never said anything wrong. So I wanted to know his attitude. At this time, Tsunade originally wanted to stay out of the matter, but now, Usopp has asked him. If he doesn't express his opinion, it will look frivolous. Ahem. In that case, let me tell you what I think, Tsunade said. Usopp, you should know the Mary best, right? You have accompanied us over mountains and ridges, across the sea, from the East China Sea to here, and experienced various hardships. Do you know all of this? Yes. Usopp nodded. So, where's the big guy? Su Tsang looked at everyone. The companions all knew the hard work of the Mary, and then they nodded together. Yes, as you can see, everyone attaches great importance to the Mary, but why did Luffy make the decision to change ships? If you think about it carefully, is Luffy such a badass captain? The Mary is our important partner, isn't it clear to Luffy? Also, have you ever seen Luffy abandon his friends? Su Tsang's words hit the point. No matter how unreliable Luffy is, there are some things he will definitely do, and some things he will never do. Abandoning his friends, Luffy couldn't do this kind of thing. So, why didn't he repair the Mary this time? Usopp asked. Remember the long-nosed ship repair foreman named Kaku? He inspected the Melee and found that the keel of the Melee had been severely damaged. In other words, the core of the Melee had been damaged. In other words, no matter how we repair the Melee, it will never be repaired. Even if we spend money to repair it, we will not be able to reach the next island. We will eventually be buried in the sea. Is this the ending you want? Su Tsang's words were very gentle, and he incorporated his own views into it unconsciously. Usopp then fell to the ground limply. The Melee can no longer be repaired. Otherwise, Luffy wouldn't have made such a difficult decision, Su Tsang said. Usopp then patted the deck and said, This ship, aren't we taking a good ride on this ship now? Our ship is about to sink, Luffy reiterated later. So that's it, did you come back after being persuaded by the person you just met today? It's just that the so-called first-class ship repairman said no, and you just came back like this? Usopp yelled, feeling very emotional. Excited. It has always been with us. No matter what kind of storms and battles, we have been an important partner together. Do you want to ignore it until it dies? Usopp's expression changed again. Is that all this ship means to you? Luffy! Usopp yelled. You can't yell like that, Usopp, Chopper said. I've told you what I know, Usopp. What would happen if it were you? Seeing that the Mary is dying, do you still want to continue to use it and tire him to death? Could it be that you have a better way to repair the Melee's keel? Su Tsang took the initiative to stand up at this time and attracted firepower. The matter is not resolved yet. Usopp was also very excited. Then can you make a judgment? It's precisely because there are no ship repairmen on this ship that we invited them to come and take a look, isn't it? Luffy said. Forget it, I won't ask those people anymore. Just like before, I will do the repairs. That's how it is. I traveled all the way here. Okay, let's start now. Hey, you guys are here to help too. Usopp, the obsession is also very deep. Zoro also looked at Usopp and Su Tsang Luffy without saying a word. Su Tsang once said this, but it was already a long time ago. Has it been predicted at that time that the day of the Melee will happen? Zoro thought. No one helped Usopp, and Luffy also asked, Aren't you a ship repairman? Usopp! Stop talking, Luffy! Nami advised, and the two of them started to fight. That's right, so what, they just make a decision easily from a professional standpoint, thinking that it's someone else's ship anyway. I won't believe such irresponsible ship repairers. Usopp, I worked hard to extend the life of the Melee. This is the lesson that you have to protect your own ship by yourself. I will never abandon this ship, Usopp yelled. Are you fools? You are going to be deceived by the words of those ship repairmen anyway, right? As I know you, you should believe in the solidity of this Melee first, rather than the kind of factory that does business. Your self-righteous attitude and pretending to be a captain are not decisive. I misjudged you, Luffy. And you, Su Tsang. Usopp grabbed Luffy and stared at Su Tsang with emotion. Still so excited. Wait, Usopp, Luffy and Su Tsang. Nami wants to say something else. Stop talking, Nami. Luffy stopped Nami from speaking at this time and said, This is my decision. I won't change my mind. No matter what you say now, We will change the ship to the Mary separate here. Luffy said. What a joke! I won't agree to such a thing. Usopp grabbed Luffy and said, Listen, not everyone can live actively like you. If I give up my injured companion, I won't be able to continue sailing. Usopp said. Don't be stupid, even if we are companions, people and ships are different. Luffy said. Melee also has the perseverance to persevere. The key lies in you. Are you excited about the new ship? On the surface, you pretend to be reluctant to leave Melee. Enough is enough. Luffy finally couldn't help but attack Usopp. Do you think you're the only one suffering? Everyone feels the same. Luffy still said sincerely. Then the decision to change ships will not be made. Usopp said. Well, since you are so dissatisfied with my approach, you should get off this boat immediately. Before Luffy could finish his words, he was kicked away by Sanji. Idiot! What did you want to say just now? Calm down and stop talking nonsense. Do you understand? Luffy! Sanji advised. And this became a trigger. I'm sorry. I accidentally. Before Luffy finished speaking, Usopp said, No, Luffy, that's what you mean. What did you say? Luffy couldn't believe that Usopp would think so. Just abandon those useless companions and move forward. Since you want to abandon the Mary, then abandon me too? Usopp can be said to have entered an extreme state. Hey Usopp, don't talk nonsense. Sanji said. No, I'm serious. I've been thinking about it a long time ago. To be honest, I feel like I can no longer keep up with you guys who are as powerful as monsters. Today, I can't even take care of the money. From now on, I will only cause you trouble. You don't need weak companions, right, Luffy? You want to be a one-piece man. I don't need such a big goal. Looking back, when I was going to sea, it was you who invited me on board. It's just fate. Since we have different opinions, we can't travel together. Usopp then took his backpack and left the cabin to the deck. Where are you going? Usopp? Zoro asked. Wherever I go is my freedom. It has nothing to do with you anymore. I want to leave you all. After Usopp finished speaking, the door closed. To be honest, everyone naturally doesn't want Usopp to leave. I said, What are you doing? Luffy? Suit-sung, are you just silent all the time? Do you want to do something? Nami said. Are we just letting Usopp go? Isn't Usopp our important partner? Go and stop him, Luffy. Suit-sung, are you the captain? Nami said. The reason why Suit-sung didn't speak was because at this time, Usopp was determined to save the Mary's ship, while Luffy also took the overall situation into consideration. Although the two had different ideas, they didn't do anything in the end. Then everyone walked out of the deck to persuade Usopp, but Usopp still didn't look back. Luffy, Suit-sung, I can no longer fight with you. Until the end, I caused you trouble. That ship does belong to you as the captain, so have a fight with me. Monkey D. Luffy. Usopp looked at Luffy and said, Duel me. No, I think it's better for me to take action. Suit-sung took the initiative to stand up at this time. Suit-sung? Luffy looked at Suit-sung, wondering what Suit-sung meant. Just trust me, don't worry, I won't hurt him. Suit-sung requested again and again, and Luffy finally agreed. At 10 o'clock tonight, I will come back here again. Then we will duel with the Mary as a bet. I will defeat you and win the Mary, and then my fate with you will end here. Usopp said. Then Usopp naturally left. Time flew by bit by bit. Nami tried her best to persuade Luffy and Suit-sung, but nothing could be done. Why do companions have to fight? Give each other some time and everyone will calm down, right? Nami said. I have always been calm. These are the decisions I made after calming down. So, Suit-sung, why do you insist on taking action? Luffy asked. Everyone knows Usopp very well. I think it won't take long for him to return willingly, and by that time, we will also have a brand new pirate ship. He will not say much, but will still cry. Please come back. Suit-sung showed a mysterious smile. Is there such a way? Luffy wasn't really angry, But he just found it difficult for Usopp to communicate. No way? Usopp is so stubborn, why would he be willing to go to another ship? Nami and others also didn't believe it. When did I lie to you? Suit-san comforted. So, just do what you have to do. Leave the rest of the battle to me. I have my own sense of proportion. You should feel relieved when I do things, right? At this time, Chopper also came back dejectedly. I wanted to continue to heal his injuries, but he drove him back. Usopp now lives in the city, Chopper said. He said, you and I are no longer partners, go back to the ship? Chopper burst into tears instantly. I was still so happy this morning, but now it's almost like it's fake. Nami is also a little numb. What's more, Robin is missing? If something happens to Robin again, our group will be torn apart. Nami then asked, Suit-san, do you know anything about Robin's movements? Do you understand? Suit-san took a sip of water and said, Don't worry, it's only a matter of time before Robin or Usopp returns to the new ship. It won't be long before we have another ship repairman partner. However, the enemies this time are not simple. They are very strong. Everyone must fight with all their strength and be prepared, Suit-sing said. Not long after, the time also reached 10 o'clock, and Suit-sang had already arrived under the melee ship as agreed. At the rocky promontory, Suit-sang was already waiting for Usopp's arrival. None of you come down, Suit-sing said. Luffy also nodded. Here we come, Nami said. Usopp! Chopper yelled. At night, there was a sea breeze blowing around, and the moon shone alone on the melee. The sea breeze raised a lot of smoke and dust on the rocky promontory. A figure appeared in the smoke and dust. It was Usopp. Usopp was a little surprised when he saw that the person in front of him was Suit-sang, but he didn't ask any more questions. After all, Suit-sang or Luffy are both captains and can represent the Straw Hats. Is Usopp here? No matter how you are beaten today, don't regret it. This is the duel you long for, Suit-sing said. Of course. Go all out. I will let you know how powerful I am. I already have a way to defeat you, Usopp said. How to defeat me? I don't believe it. Suit-sang shook his head. Is there anyone in this world who can defeat Suit-sang? It's still uncertain, not to mention that it was Usopp who said this. Can't you stop it? Usopp is seriously injured, Chopper said. If you can't stand it, just go in, Zoro said. Chopper had no choice. Don't compare me to those enemies who don't know your true identity, Usopp said. Suit-sang, we have been together for so long. I know your abilities quite well. Don't be surprised when I hear this, Suit-sang. I have 8,000 subordinates. If you want to survive, surrender immediately, Usopp said. It's clumsy, but whatever, I'll be more serious. While Suit-sang spoke, his eyes had turned into 3 Magatama shapes. Yes, Suit-sang used the 3 Magatama Sharingan at this moment. Then Usopp said, The blades are stuck in all the teeth. There are bamboo sticks stuck between all the fingernails. Suit-sang didn't react at all to all this, and remained as still as a mountain. Usopp then spit out a mouthful of blood, but Suit-sang didn't smell a trace of blood at all. It was obviously tomatoes. Clumsy, Suit-sang said again. Shining shell! At this moment, Usopp took out the shining shell and sealed Suit-sang's eyes. Immediately afterwards, Usopp said, The must kill Stinky Star. Countless rotten eggs were hit on Suit-sang's body. Must kill Pepper Star. Usopp's battle was not sloppy at all, maybe because he was eager to win. Usopp had already thrown caltrops all over the ground. There is already a hell of thorns under your feet, Usopp said. Awesome! Usopp actually suppressed Suit-sang, Chopper said without knowing what was going on. Listen up, Suit-sang. Since the opponent is you, I will go all out to defeat you and get the Mary. No matter what means I use, Usopp said. Oh. Suit-sang didn't say much. He had been hit by many attacks in succession, but none of them had any damage to Suit-sang. Suit-sang was just too lazy to hide. Must kill Pepper Star. Usopp used pepper again. Suit Sang sneezed immediately after smelling the pepper, and there were caltrops under his feet. It was quite difficult. See, I won't use ineffective attacks on you. Usopp then continued to use his own unique technique. Must kill, shuriken meteor swarm. Rows of neat shurikens shot out from Usopp's hands. Suit Sang dodged them all. At this time, Suit Sang noticed smoke around him. It turned out that it was Usopp using the smoke shell to release the smoke. Because of the rotten eggs, didn't you notice? Your place is already full of gas, Usopp said. Sorry, watch the move. Fire Star. At this time, Usopp used his attack again, and the area near Suit Sang, which was filled with gas, was instantly ignited, and a big explosion occurred. The power of the explosion is amazing. The smoke and dust dispersed at this moment, and Suit Sang had fallen to the ground. Suit Sang Usopp! Chopper shouted. I know you can't die at this level, Usopp said. At this time, Suit Sang stood up and walked step by step in the direction of Usopp. Must kill, explode the cactus star! Usopp launched the attack again. This time, Suit Sang was suppressed again. 3 company gunpowder stars! Usopp used a slingshot to chase Suit Sang, but Suit Sang could only dodge again and again. Don't be too proud! Suit Sang got close and punched Usopp hard. Who would have thought that Usopp would actually take out a shock shell? I will accept your power! Shock shell! Usopp then released the power of shock shell again. Suit Sang himself was affected by his own attack and was instantly knocked away. However, Usopp's biggest problem is that he doesn't have a move that can completely kill the enemy. Although Suit Sang was attacked so many times, he finally managed to get close to Usopp very easily and simply punched Usopp in the stomach, causing Usopp to fall to the ground. Immediately afterwards, Usopp fell to the ground. The companions around felt quite strange. Why didn't Usopp move? Then he fell down? Chopper asked. I don't know what Suit Sang must have done. Luffy also felt very strange. Well, Usopp feels a little uncomfortable. He couldn't even stand up, but he was not hurt, because when he saw Suit Sang's eyes, he was doomed to fail. Yes, Suit Sang used Sharingan's Genjutsu. All the battles that Usopp fought just now were just what Suit Sang wanted him to see. Now that Usopp fell, Suit Sang told Usopp what he and Luffy meant. Luffy and I discussed that the Mary is at your disposal. We are going to get a new ship and continue sailing. Suit Sang then said, Everyone likes you very much, Usopp. Goodbye. I hope you will do the same in the future. Good. It's so heavy. Luffy's expression was also very painful at this time. This is the captain, Luffy. If even you are hesitant, who should we believe? You should thank Suit Sang. He has shared some of the burden for you. Zoro said. The kind-hearted Chopper brought a lot of medicine from the ship and placed it next to Usopp. And Zoro said, Give him the ship. Both Luffy and Chopper were in tears at this moment, partly because of Usopp's departure and partly because of the departure of the Mary. We can no longer return to this ship, Suit Sang said. Suit Sang and others transferred the luggage from the melee, and then moved into the city at night. One night, no one said anything. And in the morning, when everyone met on the rooftop, Luffy didn't say anything at all. Sanji, where have you been? Chopper asked. Me? I stayed at the rocky promontory all night because I thought Robin might come back. When will Miss Robin come back? Sanji asked. Chopper also said, After arriving on this island, all the bad things happened. The money was taken away, and the trouble with Usopp was made. Usopp was injured so seriously. He must have a high fever now. I can't move anymore. Chopper stopped talking about him. Zoro reminded. After all, everyone has already accepted this fact in their hearts at this time. Today I want to go look for it on the street. Sanji said. Can you find Robin? Chopper asked. I don't know. Although I don't have a clue, she will be somewhere in the city. If something happens, she can also meet at this hotel. Sanji said. I'll look for him too. Chopper said. That's okay. Sanji and Chopper were about to go out when Su Tsang and Nami came in from the door. It's bad. People in the whole city are talking about this now. Luffy, last night Mr. Iceberg from the shipyard he was shot. Su Tsang added. Su Tsang and Nami don't need to collect information at all. They can find out what others are discussing just by walking around. Uncle Bing? Him? Luffy also turned his head. It's said that he is still in a coma, Nami said. Why would the uncle who is so respected by everyone do this? Luffy also couldn't understand. As the saying goes, one wave comes after another, and the companion's matter has not been dealt with yet, and now something new happened. Who are you talking about? Sanji asked again. Because Sanji did not go to the shipyard with Su Tsang and others, he did not know. The person who took care of us yesterday at the shipyard is both the owner of the shipyard and the mayor of the Water City, Nami replied. That's a big shot, Sanji said. Yes, there is no more serious incident in the city, Nami said. Su Tsang, let's go together. After Luffy finished speaking, he rushed towards where the ice was. Wait, you two, I want to go too, Nami said. However, when Nami said that, Su Tsang and Luffy had already left the rooftop. Immediately afterwards, newspaper headlines appeared everywhere in the city, reporting that the iceberg was attacked. All the citizens of the Water City had their hearts in their throats. After all, the person who was assassinated was Mr. Bing Shan. Then let's go directly to Uncle's house, Luffy said. I heard that his home is inside the headquarters, Nami said. If you want to enter, you must avoid the crowd and enter as quickly as possible, Su Tsing said. Just as Yaga Labunra drove past the place where Usopp fell to the ground yesterday, Nami couldn't help but think of Usopp. Immediately afterwards, the water capital broadcast a piece of news again. Emergency notice, this is the Water City Weather Forecast Bureau. Now the water god's warning is issued to the entire island. It will arrive in the Water City at midnight today, said the radiophone bug. Hey! The water gods are coming. Go and inform those who don't know yet. Many people on the road told each other. Water gods? What is that? Nami and Luffy were also confused. Su Tseng naturally gave an explanation. To put it bluntly, strong winds will cause a tsunami, right? Is it a natural disaster? After Su Tseng finished speaking, Nami, who is very sensitive to the weather and the sea, also noticed it. That's right. Whether it's the clouds in the sky or the unrest of the sea, they all seem to be talking about the coming bad weather. Nami then said, The Water City itself is relatively low. It seems that we can only go there escape to a higher place. Yes, but there is no need to be so anxious for the time being, because the water gods will arrive at midnight, Su Tsing said. At this time, Yaga Labunla had arrived at dock number 1, but a large number of people gathered at the entrance of dock number 1. Some of these people were concerned about the iceberg, and some were just there to join in the fun. As expected, can't you get in? Luffy said. I'm sorry, do you know where the entrance to the headquarters is? Nami asked the others directly. It's useless. You have to enter from the number 1 dock. Only relevant personnel and specific reporters can enter. Everyone is worried and restless, the uncle said. Is that so? Thank you. Nami thanked him. At this time, a melody suddenly sounded around. This melody was very unpleasant, and the people around him became frightened. This melody is... No way. Why is it at this time? A tall man pointed at this group of people and said, Hey! Did you guys exchange my names just now? Who's going to call you by your name? Get away! Where? Where exactly? Everyone already knows who is coming at this moment. Ah! There! Appeared. Frankie, who was at a high place, said, AAA. That's the most powerful man on this island. I'm the boss behind Water City, yes, everyone calls me Frankie. Frankie bumped his arms together to form a star pattern, looking a little silly. Come out. Straw Hat Luffy. Demon Su Tsang. Frankie was very angry at this time. The reason why he ran away before was because he was no match for Su Tsang, but the reason for coming back this time was also very simple. He replenished a large amount of coke and was now fully prepared. Frankie believed that he was now the strongest and could definitely defeat Su Tsang and Luffy. Hatred makes people strong. Frankie's house was destroyed, and all his younger brothers were beaten severely several times. Frankie was naturally extremely angry. Come out! Straw Hat Luffy, Meijin Su Tsang. You should be right here. Frankie shouted to the crowd under the number 1 dock. What's going on? That perverted guy is calling us? Luffy was also surprised. After all, Frankie only wore a pair of underwear on his lower body, so anyone who saw him would think he was a pervert. Does everyone call him Frankie? Nami reminded. That guy is? Frankie? He was the one who gave Usopp to Usopp? Luffy looked at Frankie in front of him, with more hatred in his eyes. That guy. Luffy's fists were clenched very tightly at this time. Although Su Tsang had never fought against Frankie before, he was able to scare Frankie away with just wind escape, which was considered as venting his anger, but Luffy had not beaten Frankie severely yet. Hey! Swimming Trunks man! I am Luffy! At this time, Luffy also admitted his identity very directly. You! Are you Straw Hat Luffy? Yes, the person next to you is Demon Su Tsang. You actually messed around while I was away. Brother! I doubted my eyes even when I came back. No, my house has been completely changed beyond recognition. I thought you would stop after the money has been returned to you, but I didn't expect you would not give me face in the end. My younger brothers also said that they were beaten so badly by you. Frankie twisted around like he was doing warm-up exercises, and then Frankie said, No one can really stop me this week. No matter what others say, my anger will not be able to stop you until it turns you into a rag. Calm. Anyway, if I don't beat you away, it will be hard to quell the anger in my heart. Luffy also looked at Frankie and said at this time, I'm the only one who can't get rid of the anger in my heart, idiot. Frankie said. Hey! Come down here quickly. Luffy also took the initiative to challenge. No! Frankie is going to cause trouble. Escape. Everyone, take refuge. Run away. The people naturally left quickly. At this time, Frankie took a deep breath. What is he doing? Nami asked. Spray fire. Su Tsang said. What? Breath fire? Nami asked in surprise. Sure enough, Frankie spit out flames from the air in a high and low manner. The raging flames immediately burned towards Su Tsang and others. Water-style water barrier. Su Tsang naturally had a way to resist the attack of this flame. Quickly forming a seal, and then performing it smoothly, finally the water barrier was used. The flames hit the water barrier, immediately generating countless water vapor around it. Since it is in a water city, the surrounding water elements are abundant, and the power of water style is naturally more powerful. What? Frankie was also startled. He breathed fire with all his strength, but was blocked by the water wall used by the opponent. One shoots fire out of its mouth. One can summon a wall of water. This is so weird. Luffy couldn't help but complain. Is it rare to be able to breathe fire? Although Frankie was very annoyed, he was also very proud when he heard Luffy sighing about his fire-breathing skills. This guy might be an Esper. Nami guessed. What kind of fruit is it? Luffy asked uncertainly. At this time, Frankie jumped straight down from where he was just now and jumped into the water. This guy is not a person with abilities, otherwise he would have drowned by now. As soon as Su Tsang finished speaking, Yaga Labunla was knocked away. Nami and Luffy were also knocked into the air. I'm not a person with abilities, Frankie said. Su Tsang then hugged Nami directly. Luffy looked at Frankie and said, Rubber. However, Frankie said calmly, I have learned about your abilities. Strong right hand. Frankie is a modified man. He can also stretch out his fist, and because he is a machine, he is more mobile. Before Luffy's attack could come out, Frankie took the lead and punched Luffy in the chest. At this time, Suit-sang hugged Nami and stood very steadily on the sea. You! Suit-sang, you are actually standing on the sea. Nami looked at Suit-sang's feet in shock and said. Suit-sang has never held Nami so close before. Nami is not Suit-sang's type. However, even at such a close distance, Suit-sang feels quite happy inside. But Suit-sang didn't deliberately take advantage of Nami. If he didn't hug her at this time, she would fall into the water. One of my abilities, right? I can walk on the water and run, which is a method of energy control. Suit-sang said. In order to prevent Nami from being harmed, Suit-sang quickly put her on the shore. Go help Luffy, Nami said. Luffy received a solid punch from Frankie, and the punch directly hit Luffy against the huge wall, and Luffy fell down and fell to the ground. What? What was that move just now? Nami also felt a little incredible. Ah? Don't you know? Little sister, let me tell you, I am a modified person who has undergone body modification. Frankie took off his wrist and said very proudly. What's so big about it? Suit-sang didn't pay much attention. Humph. Bastard. You will know how powerful he is soon. Frankie also wanted to attack Suit-sang, but Luffy still interrupted Frankie's attack. Your opponent is me, Luffy said. Although Luffy's rubber attack lacks mobility, it also has the advantage of flexibility. The two sides fought with each other, and each had their own victory or defeat. However, the surrounding buildings were damaged. The good buildings were affected by the battle between the two and eventually turned into ruins. Anyway, I'm going to defeat you, Luffy said. Ah ha 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 ha. Let's try it. Your attacks are of no use to me. Frankie also didn't think he would lose. Frankie then aimed his arm at Luffy, opening his wrist to reveal the scope. Left-hand weapon. Frankie directly used the long-range attack of his left hand. An attack similar to a rocket launcher rushed towards Luffy. Luffy dodged it and then used a rubber whip to attack Frankie. However, Frankie also expected it and blocked it, and knocked Luffy away with the same punch. But at this time, Frankie himself seemed to be under attack, and he was knocked away. Who is it? Both of them were looking around. Finally, some familiar people appeared in front of them. What is your purpose after doing some boring things? Demon Suit-sang, Straw Hat Boy. The person who spoke was naturally Barry, one of the ship repair foremen. And there were Kakaluchi and others beside him. Carrera? What do you want? Frankie asked. When the people around saw the foreman coming, they were very happy. Wow. Great. Great. It's the foreman of Dockyard Number 1. Please. Kill them. Come on. You are the best. Danger. The shipyard was almost destroyed. When the people saw the arrival of the foreman, they were naturally very excited. Great. Aren't they the shipbuilders from yesterday? They should help us, right? Nami also showed a very happy expression. I asked, why is Nami so happy? We are now one of the murder suspects. Suit-sang's words made Nami's mood fall to the bottom again. What? Suit-sang? What do you mean? You figured it out soon, so why bother trying to accuse him? Suit-sang didn't say much, but at this time, Suit-sang had more or less understood the development of the subsequent plot. Hey! Carrera's little buddy. If you interrupt our fight, I will be very troubled. Do you want to get hurt? Frankie said. You still dare to speak arrogantly? If you make our shipyard like this, we will stop you without any reason. Yes. Frankie, how are you going to be responsible for this? Said a ship repairman named Tillstone. Wait a moment, Tellystone, we have more important things to do, Straw Hat Luffy. Demon Suit-sang, do you know what you have done? How dare you meet here? Barry asked. Why? We came here after hearing Uncle's news, Luffy said. Then Suit-sang also said, we rested in the city last night and never left the hotel. Barry obviously didn't believe it. It's not enough to mess with our family. Have you also messed with Carrera? Are you guys in adolescence who want to hurt everyone? Frankie asked. I said it all. We didn't do anything. Luffy complained. If you want to pretend to be confused, let's tie you up first. Barry had already taken out the rope from his sleeve and then threw it out. Rope manipulation. The first thing Barry attacked was not Sootsung, but Luffy. Barry's move directly trapped Luffy's neck. Hey! Sootsung pulled out Shura neatly and cut the rope into 2 pieces. I'm saved, thank you Sootsung, Luffy gasped desperately. The blow just now choked him to death. Unexpectedly, Frankie burst out at this moment. You bastards! Didn't I tell you not to disturb us? I am the one who wants to avenge him. What's happening? What happened? Why are the shipbuilders also our enemies? At this time, Nami was completely confused. At this time, Lulu shot directly at Luffy, but because Luffy was an Esper, ordinary bullets were of no use to him. Is this guy a person with abilities? Lulu said. Hey! Rob Lucci and Kaku were not idle either. One attacked Sootsung from above and the other from below. However, Sootsung didn't move at all, he just waved his hand, and the 2 of them were knocked away by the demon's phantom arm. I said! Are you listening to me carefully? Those 2 guys are my prey. Frankie once again used his left hand of the weapon and used a machine gun-like attack to hit the smoke. Sootsung threw away Lucci and Kaku also rushed towards Frankie. We don't have time to play with you, Frankie. Kaku fell from the sky, and Frankie, not to be outdone, aimed his left hand at Kaku. What? You wild monkey! However, Talston knocked Frankie away with a wooden stick from the side. You're the one in the way, Frankie! Kaku also threw Frankie heavily to the ground in the air. Lucci struck out and quickly knocked Luffy to the ground. Damn it! What on earth do you want to do? At least tell me a reason. Luffy didn't want to actively attack these people and could only defend passively. Sootsung quickly came to Luffy's side. Barry and Lucci also walked in front of them. Straw Hat Boy, it's us who want to know the reason. The murderers who invaded the company headquarters and attacked Mr. Bing Shan last night were you, right? Barry accused Luffy and Sootsung as soon as he came up. How could it be? You actually said that. Nami also felt a little surprised. Thinking about it now, it seems that Sootsung had guessed such a result just now. Immediately afterwards, Bing Shan confirmed that the murderer was the Straw Hat Pirates. Subsequently, the reporters next to Bing Shan's house received this news one after another, and each of them was very angry. Soon, everyone in the Water City knew that it was the Straw Hats who attacked Mr. Iceberg. We didn't do anything? Luffy was still explaining at this time. Do you still want to show off? Barry asked. But we really didn't do anything. The murderer, Mr. Bing Shan, woke up and said there were 2 murderers. One was a tall man wearing a mask, and the other was a tall woman. I asked the government people, and they said that woman was your accomplice. Wanted criminal, Nico Robin, Barry said. Robin! Luffy was also surprised. Did you come to this island just to take Mr. Iceberg's life? Barry asked. It was only after you met that adult yesterday that you came up with such an idea. We can't understand the pirate's thoughts, but since we know you are the murderer, we can't let you go, Barry said. At this time, Sootsung said again. Unfortunately, we lost contact with Nico Robin just after arriving on the island yesterday. Since then, we have not had any contact. Although she is our partner, what she did has nothing to do with us. Besides, even if the murderer is really him, there is no guarantee that she was coerced by others to attack Mr. Bing Shan. We didn't have any reason to attack Mr. Bing Shan, and at least the hotel owner could confirm that we checked in last night. What Sootsung said is true. However, Sootsung can only do so much. Whether others believe him is another matter. I know Mr. Bing Shan is a good mayor, but you can't blame us just because we are pirates. Mr. Bing Shan only guessed that the murderer might be Nico Robin. As for the man wearing the mask, no one knows who it is. What if he coerced Robin? Deliberately looking for us as a scapegoat, what should we do? Besides, I'm a pirate with $1 billion bounty. Even if I make the water city disappear, it's just a matter of a few clicks. Do you think I'll shoot Mr. Iceberg? Su Tseng's words basically hit the point. The people around him are not all idiots. It is naturally extremely easy to kill Bingshan with such an awesome and coaxing person in front of him. It is not impossible to kill him. Let others discover that he is the murderer. So, the guy from Bingshan is not dead, right? Frankie asked. How could he die in the hands of these idiots? It is precisely because he is still alive that we have to deal with these people here who will take his life at any time. Demon Su Tseng, what you just said just cleared your suspicions. Even if you don't take action, it doesn't mean that your companions won't take action. As for the reason, that is your own business. In short, Mr. Bingshan said personally that the murderer is Robin. Regardless of whether he has any contact with you or not, he belongs to your group. Of course we will settle the score with you. Even if there is any misunderstanding, we have to wait until we catch you and interrogate you slowly. I believe that sooner or later there will be results, Barry said. Dead or alive, no matter life or death, you pirates are wanted in the first place, so there is nothing wrong with doing this, right? Kaku said. You see, Nami, it's useless what I say. Su Tseng waved his hand and said casually. Su Tseng did not think that these people would believe what he said so easily. The laws of the world will not protect you. Yes, we are illegals, I know it very well, but you obviously don't know anything about Robin, so don't talk nonsense there. Although Luffy was not sure who did it, he believed it would never be the case. It was Robin who did it. Let me meet Uncle Iceberg. He must have seen it wrong. It can't be Robin, Luffy said with certainty. I don't know what you will do to him. How can we let you get close to Mr. Bingshan? Lulu said. Many residents of the surrounding water cities were also filled with indignation. They want to kill the heroes of the entire city. They must be severely punished. Hang them! Wait, what are you talking about? Nami also found it very unbelievable. She couldn't accept this crime. At this moment, some people actually strangled Nami's neck. Little girl, you were with the Straw Hat Boy just now. Are you also his accomplice? Yes. I saw this woman too. Don't let him run away. Stop struggling. Su Tseng naturally would not let Nami be bullied by these people. Upon seeing this, he immediately said, Let go, I won't say it a second time. Let me go! Let me go! Although Nami was in pain, she could still make sounds, at least she could breathe. What on earth did we do? Nami also felt that she was very innocent. In fact, she was indeed very innocent. Nami did nothing, and no one else did anything, but she suddenly suffered injustice. Humph! We will not let the assassins go! You dare to attack Mr. Bingshan, and we will never let you escape! The people did not listen to Su Tseng's words. I told you we didn't do anything, Luffy explained again. Yes, besides, there is no reason for Robin to attack Mr. Iceberg, Nami explained again. Whatever you say, but that's it for the three of you. Going against that person means being an enemy of our Carrera Company, and at the same time being an enemy of this urban water capital, Barry said. Why do you believe in such nonsense? Let me tell Uncle Bing, Luffy said. Give up! Pirates, the news will spread throughout the town soon. You have nowhere to escape. I will solve all of you, Barry said. Kill them! Carrera Company! The people ignorantly cheered for Carrera Company, but the person who caught Nami did not let go. I've said it before. I won't say it a second time. Su Tseng's expression changed at this moment, and his originally indifferent expression became serious at this moment. Immediately afterwards, Su Tseng's body seemed to shake, and then a powerful aura came from Su Tseng's body. Yes, Su Tseng directly used Conqueror's Haki. Su Tseng did not affect Nami. The main target was naturally this group of ignorant people. In less than a second, all the ignorant people were affected by Conqueror's domineering force, and they fainted on the spot. Damn it! What did you do? Barry also asked with a confused look. There were so many citizens, but Su Tsang unexpectedly knocked them to the ground in an instant. Su Tsang! Luffy was also afraid that Su Tsang would become more and more sinister. He was not a murderer originally, but if he killed so many ordinary citizens, he would eventually become a murderer. Don't worry, I just made these people faint, they were not harmed. After Su Tsang finished speaking, Luffy and the Carrera's ship repairmen were relieved. Rope manipulation! At this time, Barry directly threw out the rope from his sleeve, and was about to hit Su Tsang, and Su Tsang was already prepared for defense. At this time, Luffy rushed out directly. And us, don't forget it. Lulu dropped the pistol on the ground at this time, took out some saws for repairing ships and said, I know bullets are useless to you, so you have to be more careful. Hey! Tolston pointed a cannon at Luffy and shouted, and he was about to hit Luffy very accurately. In the crisis, Luffy jumped into the air and finally caught the landing gear. However, at this time, Lucci did jump up suddenly, took out the weapon in his hand and slashed at Luffy. Luffy fell to the ground. Lulu took the opportunity to attack again. Kaku immediately hit the target, and Towstone once again picked up the cannon and aimed it at Luffy. At this moment, Luffy was trapped by the knife, so his body could not move. Hey! At this moment, Su Tsang arrived just in time, pulled out Shura and cut the cannonball fired by Tellstone into half. Humph! Can you deal with all of us? Rope manipulation! Barry no longer attacked Luffy, but attacked Su Tsang. At the same time, Tellstone continued to fire shells at Su Tsang, and Lulu also took out a saw and threw it at Su Tsang. As for Kaku and Rob Lucci, Su Tsang was the flanker in tandem. It stands to reason that under the siege of so many people, no matter how powerful a person is, he should not be able to withstand it. But don't forget, the person fighting the ship repair workers at this time is Su Tsang. Su Tsang had unknowingly activated the 3 Magatama Sharingan, and the Haki of Seeing and Hearing was also activated. Therefore, Su Tsang could not only predict the landing point of the opponent's attack, but also completely see through the trajectory of the opponent's attack. Therefore, Su Tsang was able to dodge all the attacks for a while. This guy seems to be able to see through our attacks. Even so, we only need to launch an attack that he cannot dodge, so even if we see through it, it will have no effect. Carrera's ship repairman was still very smart, and he figured it out in an instant. Then, almost at the same time, everyone launched a 360-degree attack on Su Tsang. Tillstone's cannon, Lulu's flying saw, Kaku's Langia, Rob Lucci's finger gun, and Barry's rope manipulation. After all these things fell on Su Tsang's body, a large amount of smoke and dust was generated around him, making it impossible for anyone to see the final result clearly. However, Frankie celebrated at this time. Yeah! You are indeed our pride! Carrera Company! That guy should be beaten away. But let me tell you, Demon Su Tsang and Straw Hat Boy are the enemies of our Frankie family, and I should be the first to settle accounts with him. Besides, I've already told you, don't steal my prey. How many times do you have to tell me? At this time, Frankie himself was getting angry. Carrera! Frankie shouted angrily. Wait a while, wait until we have completely captured them, and then we will fight you. Carrera's ship repairman had no time to deal with Frankie at all. So, why do you want to capture my prey? Forget it, you won't understand no matter how much I say. At this time, Frankie was ready to attack. Connection completed. Frankie also looked confident. This is not a cannon, but an air bomb. The speed will exceed the speed of sound. Frankie didn't say anything big. At this time, his hands were absorbing the surrounding air. After absorbing it for a while, Frankie finally said, The wind comes with the cannon. The power of this cannon was so great that it even destroyed an old ship. There was a sound of howling wind all around, and even Carrera's ship repairman was blown away after being hit by this attack. It hurts. It seems like I was suddenly hit by wind pressure, Barry said painfully. At this moment, not only the broken ship was affected, but also the crane nearby was affected by the wind and the cannon. It was also very unstable and was about to fall from the sky. The position Nami was standing in was very dangerous, and she was about to be hit by the crane. Su Tsung also appeared again. Nami was desperate when she saw that she was about to be smashed into pieces, but at the last second, Su Tsung's figure appeared in front of her. Su Tsung has never been so charming. Su Tsung's hand stopped the extremely heavy crane. Su Tsung then threw Chi aside. "Are you okay?" Su Tsung asked. "No. It's okay." Nami then looked at Frankie and asked, "Where did the technology for transforming people come from? What was that strange cannon just now? Escape! You guys!" Luffy also escaped at this time. "Are you okay, Luffy?" Nami asked. "Of course, how could I die so easily? Anyway, I don't know what happened. I have to find a way to get to Uncle Bing," Luffy said. "What? Are you going?" "No, in such a big commotion." Nami felt that everyone had been misunderstood, and now he was looking for Bing Shan. If something happened again, it would be impossible to explain clearly. Su Tsung said, "Since we have been misunderstood, we can't get rid of the crime no matter what we do, so it is not impossible to go to Bing Shan and ask for clarification." "Let's go then," Luffy said. "Okay. Just catch me." Su Tsung was still able to fly the two of them easily. Without anyone stopping him, Su Tsung flew away with the two men very easily. Frankie used the phone lie cannon to run out of fuel and would not take the initiative to pursue Su Tsung for a while. As for the other people in Carrera who ate Frankie's phone lie cannon, they also received a certain impact. Since Carrera Company's headquarters is connected to Dock Number 1, the three of them arrived at the entrance of the headquarters without walking far. "Look, there are a lot of people like reporters and people like boatmen gathered here. Mr. Bing Shan must be in that house," Nami said. "Are you really going?" Nami asked, looking at Luffy. "Of course, I want to directly ask why Uncle Bing said Robin is the murderer," Luffy said. "Don't forget, we are being chased by everyone on the island. Once we confirm where Mr. Iceberg's room is, we will seize the opportunity and move forward cautiously." As soon as Nami finished speaking, Luffy had already taken advantage of it. The power of rubber forced its way into the Carrera headquarters. Just hearing the sound of glass breaking, Luffy had already entered. Nami was very speechless. She wanted to keep a low profile, but Luffy chose a way that made it easy for everyone to misunderstand. "It's okay, he is Luffy. If he thought carefully before doing things, he wouldn't be him," Su Tsung comforted. Go with him," Nami said quickly. "Okay." Su Tsung then followed Luffy at a faster speed. Because Luffy is so high profile, he has attracted a lot of attention. But in the end, Califa called the two of them into the room, and the two were able to escape the pursuit of the people. "You two sneaked in here in this chaos. You shouldn't be here to kill me, right?" Bing Shan asked. "Of course not, we are here to ask you for the truth," Luffy said. "I saw Nico Robin with my own eyes last night, and this woman is your partner, so you are also your enemy. This is the truth," Bing Shan said. "Your words are no longer convincing. The reason why I let you in now is because I have a favor to ask of you. Let me see Nico Robin again," Iceberg said. "I'll say it again, let me see Nico Robin." Mr. Iceberg opened the safety bolt of the gun and threatened. "We can't do this because we don't know where Robin is." After Luffy finished speaking, Bing Shan shot directly. Su Tsung and Luffy also directly chose to escape. After seeing Nami again, Nami immediately asked, "How was it? Have you seen Mr. Iceberg?" "Yes, he said he did see Robin," Luffy said. "How could this happen? Why would Robin do something like that?" Nami asked. "I don't believe it." Luffy still chose to believe Robin unconditionally. "Things are not as simple as they seem." Su Tsung did not say the reason why Robin attacked the iceberg at this time, because it was not appropriate to say it now. Then Nami, Luffy, and Su Tsung also left the number 1 dock. At this time, Nami felt that the weather was unusual. "Let's go back to the hotel first. It's useless to be outside now," Nami said. At this time, the broadcast was also broadcasting news about the water gods. In order to prevent the water gods, all the docks at the shipyard on the shipbuilding island are open to everyone as evacuation sites. It is expected to be very crowded, so please evacuate as soon as possible. Also, dock number 1 is currently in a dangerous state. Nami, Luffy, and Tsutsung were running, and Nami asked, "Is everyone safe? The streets are full of company employees. Chopper and Sanji haven't shown up, so they should be fine. Anyway, hurry up." Luffy was also a little worried about his partner. On the entire street, except for the employees of Carrera Company, there are almost no ordinary people left. The unconscious people at the gate of dock number 1 have long since woken up. It can be said that almost everyone in the water capital today has taken refuge in higher places. Tsutsung takes more care of Nami. After all, Nami is relatively weak. However, Luffy was chased by company employees and fell into the water. Fortunately, he finally ran into Chopper, who successfully rescued him. Tsutsung and Nami said, "If we return to the hotel like this, we will definitely be caught. Then what should we do? Isn't the meeting place agreed with my friends the rooftop of the hotel?" Nami said. "Leave it to me." Tsutsung then used his transformation technique to deceive all the company employees in the hotel, and finally reached the rooftop safely with his friends. Zoro, Nami, Chopper, Luffy, and Tsutsung have gathered at this time. "Speaking of Chopper, where's Sanji?" Luffy asked. Chopper told what happened before. It turned out that Sanji and Chopper ran into Robin, and Robin admitted that he invaded Mr. Iceberg's room and said goodbye to everyone in the Water City. Did Robin really say those words? Luffy's expression changed at this time. Yeah. Chopper naturally wouldn't lie and deceive everyone. And everyone was silent. "I think everyone is ready, right?" Zoro said. "Now that Robin, who was once an enemy, is allowed on the ship, it is inevitable that she suddenly feels scared and wants to escape. It is time to make a move with that woman." "Stop it. Is that woman a friend or foe?" Zoro asked. "Robin, you really said that, right? From today on, I will not see you again. It sounds like I am announcing that something will happen today that will further worsen the situation. The attempted assassination of the mayor has caused such an uproar on the streets. If the situation will worsen, there is only one way." Zoro said. "I'm really going to assassinate the mayor this time." Nami had already guessed what Zoro wanted to say. Is it natural to think so? However, since we know that we will be accused, this may be a trap to lure us to the scene. If we were at the scene of their assassination tonight, it would be easy to blame us. Zoro said. "Wait, aren't you saying that Robin is the real enemy?" Nami asked. "I'm just talking about the possibility. I'm not sure about any statement. Whether you believe it or doubt it, if the truth is the opposite, your reaction will be slow in the next moment. If something happens, it must be tonight." Zoro then asked, "Are you going to the scene?" "Go," Luffy said. "You can go, but you have to ask first." "Sanji said he saw Robin walking with someone, right?" Nami asked. Mr. Iceberg also said the same, saying that walking with a person wearing a mask is not any of us. He is the reason why Robin mutated. Nami said. "What? Did he force Robin to do bad things?" Chopper asked. "This idea is auspicious. If he is Robin's real accomplice, it will be a sinister one," Zoro said. "Even so, we don't have any clues about the person wearing the mask. The question is, what is our purpose?" Nami asked. "CP9, the person who is with Robin is CP9. Tsutsung said very directly this time. "What is that?" Everyone is unfamiliar with this word. The secret intelligence agency directly under the world government. The organization's full name is Cypher Polno.9, and its abbreviation is CP9. Before Robin knocked me out, this organization abducted Robin," Tsutsung said. "But why? What is their purpose? Why would Robin do things for them?" Nami knew that Tsutsung must know a lot of information, so she naturally asked immediately. "I wasn't sure at the beginning. Until the moment Robin knocked me unconscious, I figured it out. Suitsung said. She didn't want us to be affected by her, so she chose to set boundaries with us. If that's the case, it means Robin doesn't really want to leave us. Luffy understood immediately. So, no matter what, we have to bring Robin back, Luffy said firmly. We'll ask you about the specific situation when the time comes, otherwise we won't know anything, Luffy said. Indeed, even if you keep thinking about it, it won't help, but she is indeed the woman that the world government has tried to catch but failed to catch for 20 years. Zoro said. If we want to confirm the truth, we have no choice but to do this. Nami also said. I will work hard too. Chopper also encouraged himself. Then let's go. Go to Carrera Company, Luffy said. The sky quickly darkened, and Suitsung and the others sneaked into the vicinity of Carrera Company's headquarters. Everyone saw that there was a huge crowd of people at the entrance of Carrera Company. There are so many guards, Chopper said. It's a bit too far, Luffy said. It's okay to just extend your arms and fly over, but it might cause a disturbance, Nami said. Yes, if we cause a riot first, we will only be used by them, Zoro said. At this time, the guards said one after another, Everyone, please don't be careless. With so many people, it would be a disgrace to Carrera if pirates were to invade. We must not let them in. Protect Mr. Iceberg. Don't let the assassin go. How's the back door? Whether it's the back door or other places, the headquarters has been completely surrounded by us. Kakuza is not dead at all. If you come here, try it. We will catch you all. At this time, the group of guards also shouted very confidently. These guys are a little overconfident. To deal with them, under the hands of a real master, it only takes less than 3 seconds. No, 1 second is enough. Suitsung was even more confident. That's not a good idea, Chopper, what's going on? Everyone asked. At this time, Chopper was holding binoculars and then said, Nothing happened, but everyone looked very powerful. Of course, these shipbuilders are more powerful than pirates. We should be careful and act at the right time, Nami said. Yeah, you'll be in big trouble if you break in, Luffy said. It's really a shame that you can express yourself so well. You suddenly broke in broad daylight. Nami was speechless to Luffy. Chopper, I don't know what will happen next. Don't miss any little thing, Zoro said. Chopper then continued to observe. If there is any movement, tell us immediately, Zoro said. The night is very long. Don't let your guard down. If you miss the opportunity tonight, we will have to say goodbye to him for unknown reasons. Don't even think about having another chance to find Robin. Now is the time to go all out, Zoro said. Ah. Robin will definitely be caught, Luffy said firmly. It didn't take long before something happened in front of me. Just a loud bang was heard, and an explosion occurred. Many guards were injured as a result. I saw it. Robin and a man wearing a mask entered the Carrera headquarters. Suitsung used the color of knowledge and Sharingan, and clearly saw the scene of the two sneaking into Bingshan Mansion. Due to this explosion, the entire headquarters was in chaos. The explosion just now should be their operation code name, Suitsung said. It seems like there's been a commotion. How about it? Should we go in too? Zoro asked. Where's Luffy? The friends asked. Think carefully before taking action. That idiot captain. Everyone was speechless to Luffy. Everyone's thoughts were on the explosion just now. Who would have thought that Luffy had already rushed in as soon as the explosion happened? There are CP9 people taking action on the roof, the door, and even inside the room. It's time for us to consider taking action, Suitsung said.